The Viral Growth Manifesto. This is the only video you'll ever need to watch about building a very, very profitable brand on Instagram, YouTube Shorts, and TikTok. What you have at your fingertips right now is literally the knowledge that has allowed us to generate over 1 billion views for our clients and still counting. I added a bunch of screenshots here just so you can see that this is real. Now, a bunch of these clients are completely new. They've had, they started with like below 1,000 followers. We managed to get them hundreds of thousands, if not even millions of views. We also have a bunch of clients that we taught everything from 0 up to hundreds of thousands of followers. And we, of course, also have clients that come to us because they've had a brand for a while and they really want to grow it faster and even more efficiently. So there's just a couple of screenshots from the last couple of weeks that we've gathered. But you also need to understand that this knowledge right here has generated us over $32 million in revenue. As a proof, I added this photo here of the awards because awards are hard to fake. Everybody can rent a Lambo, but it's hard to fake these awards. That one here is for 10 million. That one here is for 1 million. That one here, is that one that 10 million? Yeah, that one here is for 10 million as well. 5 million, 1 million, 1 million, 1 million, 1 million. So that's $30 million there. But of course, we kept growing. So here's our January and February on Hyros, our tracking software, which is an extra 2 million on top of that. We've taught over 36,000 clients in the last 18 months alone, and they've learned this stuff here that you're now getting for free. Of course, you're getting a little bit of a shortened version, but it's nonetheless extremely valuable. So this is a screenshot of our Kajabi, which is our hosting platform, 36,000 clients right there. This is also the exact knowledge that allows our clients to get results like these, and these are money results, so it's not just about views. $60,000 in a month here, $100,000 a month, 60,000 euros a month, 100,000 euros a month, 500,000 a month, $20,000 a month, $100,000 a month. You can see it. You can feel free to pause this video if you want to look in this. But I'm showing this. These are just a few of our clients to make you understand that this is not just about views, but this is about actually building a brand, not just of viewers and followers, but of fans and clients. And that's probably what you want. So do you want this? Here's again, this was our first month, January, where I cracked 1 million a month just from social media. This is not just organic, this is ads as well. But of course, if you want to run ads, one great way to amplify what you're doing is with organic. We have a $10,000 pay in full, $7,000 to pay, $12,000 payment plan, $6,000, $12,000 pay in full, $9,000 pay in full, $7,000 pay in full right here. You have, this is always funny. Like every time I log into one of our accounts, this is what it looks like. Not every account, we got some newer accounts as well, but this is usually the standard that we expect. Also, I added public speaking here because I've been public speaking for 13 something years or something like that. I've been invited to be a keynote speaker. I'm getting invited to be podcast guests, or I've get people that want to come on my podcast. I've been able to tour the world, give seminars. I know that for a lot of, authors, experts, online business, info business, online coaches, they like the idea of being on stage. So this helped me tremendously. You will learn a ton of that as well. And the cool thing is I've done all that while traveling a lot. I'm now locked in quite crazily over the last couple of months, but I've built most of this just literally while traveling. So this is my girlfriend and I on some vacation. This is us on I always have to smile when I see this, when I just proposed to her in Lauterbrunnen in Switzerland, which, by the way, is what Tolkien used to get inspired by to create Rivendell. When I read that, I'm like, that's where I'm going to propose. So it was just such a perfect day. I digress. This is me and my wonderful mom hanging out somewhere in Scandinavia in a restaurant. This is me and my dad hanging out somewhere in the Mediterranean. He wants to go surfing, so that's hopefully going to be our next trip. This is, again, me getting the first couple awards. Some of them you see now on the wall behind me. Oh, this is also here, 22 million. We should have added the time frame. I think this was within 30 days or something like that. So 22 million views. This is us at a team retreat. We're flying out parts of our team to hang out with those. We have now over 65 or 75 employees. I'm planning to still get everybody out at some point all together. That would be really awesome. Podcast guests here. I've had people with huge brands, way bigger brands than mine on my podcast. I had the incredible honor to talk to them, become friends with a lot of them. We have Justin Waller here, Jeremy Haynes, Lara Costin, Darren Lee, Elliot Hulse, Nick Santos on Tasso, great inspiration, this guy, but also local legends in the German and German-speaking market in Germany and Austria, which is really, really fantastic. Let me zoom out here. There we go. Now, who is this for? Back to you, because that's obviously what's interesting for you. Is this is for personal brands and faceless brands. It works for both. Obviously, this is very heavily focused on personal brands, but if you want to create a faceless brand, it's exactly the same. Plus, I acknowledge that in the training as well. Solopreneurs, so if you're alone, we got a lot of clients that come to us making 20, 30, 40K a month just by themselves. Cool, that's for you. But also entrepreneurs with a social media team, have them watch this. Like, this is based on our own internal SOPs. I'm giving my own staff, my clippers, my video editors, my content assistants, I'm giving them this training here to watch. So give them that. And shout out to all the folks out there. This is for beginner brands as well as established brands and advanced brands. So if you have an existing well-established brand that you want to grow faster and more consistently, this is for you. In short, you want more views, more clients, more monetization, free leads, easier hiring, better talent, collaboration bites, podcast guests, and you've come to the right place. FYI, I'm known to be super nitty-gritty, detail-oriented, and very scientific. If you're tired of all the fluff and the fake guru BS out there, because we all know there's so much random advice that sounds good but doesn't actually work out there, and you want something that is actually proven to work, then stick around. A little shout out to Arnie here, fellow Austrian. So you come to the right place. Before we start some extra value, and I'm getting to the point right now, don't worry, we're going to start literally in 30 seconds. This training is 100% tactics and strategy. No, this is not some watered-down mainstream BS lead magnet. Our test audiences that we've shown this to frequently describe it as more valuable than most paid training, so you're in for a ride. This training is a shortened version of what we give to our high-ticket clients, so I'm addressing our high-ticket clients a bunch of times in here, just so you kind of understand, like, why does Max say I should talk to my one-on-one coach? Well, because this is based on our high-ticket clients. It's split up into 3 different parts: viral foundations, viral proficiency, and viral mastery. So we're going to start with the foundations, which I still recommend you to watch. Even if you already have an established brand, we have tons of clients come to us with 50,000 followers, 100,000 followers plus. They often have overlooked some foundations, which stuns their growth. So still watch it from the get-go if you can. However, if you want, you will find timestamps below in the description. In the progress, and you can also see it in the YouTube progress bar. We'll add it there in case you want to skip ahead or you kind of want to come back at it. This is going to be a multi-hour training. Not going to lie, it's going to take a long time. You and I are going to get to know each other very well here. So you might want to bookmark this training and kind of come back to it and watch it in multiple goes. You know already how long it is because you're looking at it. I don't know yet, but it's going to be multi-hours. This entire document, by the way, where I'm going through this, is downloadable via the link in the description. There's no opt-in whatsoever. You just click on it. It's my gift for you. We also added infographics for easy knowledge retention at one glance for each and every single mini chapter, so you can check that out there as well. All right, shut the hell up, Max. Give me the value. Your command is my whatever. Your wish is my command. Let's get started. Chapter 1, Viral Foundations. Now, your goals for this stage is pretty simple. And again, this is the same stuff that we're giving to our high-ticket clients. So we say, let's have a look at the 4 creator to cash phases and how this module fits into the bigger picture. Now, this module meaning everything here. What we usually give our clients is a so-called client master sheet. This is a template, which is why it's empty. But with this master sheet, they get all the info about their accounts. We add inspirational accounts that have been crushing it in their niche that they can follow. And then we give them content ideas based on their niche, based on their personality, and we cross-reference it with content that's already been going viral. We prepared it for them. We give them exact video instructions on how to shoot these. This is something that we give to all of our high-ticket viral growth accelerator clients. And in there, they also have a viral library where they can fill out their own ideas if they wish to do so, where they're going to be in touch with their coach. Their coach will give them feedback, etc. And then here we have the ascension stages, which kind of just serve like as an overview over what phases they will go through. So they have foundation and clarity, content creation and AI stack, because, our high-ticket stuff also comes with an AI stack, which I'm using that helps you with scripting, ideation, does the video editing for you, gives you feedback on your own scripts, etc. It's like really neat. It's really awesome. And then we have the algorithm warm-up, which is kind of like building up momentum, and then the growth milestones, and then finally the monetization milestones. Although I have to say right now we're actually working on putting the monetization milestones further up here. Oh, we already did that. There you go. So we set the foundations for monetizations already in phase 1 because over the last couple of weeks, we've had a bunch of clients who just went viral in their first week. They got like a couple 100,000 views, but they didn't have their monetization in place yet. They're like, I'm getting all these views. I don't have my monetization ready yet. I can't capitalize on all the views that I'm getting. So we're like, okay, let's start with the monetization. Let's help them out, build a solid foundation on what exactly they're going to sell, have it already. So by the time they get views, it's already working. So anyways, what you basically need to understand is the following. It's very simple. Your goals at this stage is to start posting content if you're a beginner. Become familiar with our AI stack system. That's not for you because you're not a high-ticket client of ours yet. Find your groove, most importantly. Warm up the algorithm and get your first views and followers, whoop, whoop, and then set a solid foundation of content pieces so we can later determine outliers and start doubling down. You will see it like this. If you have an account that you start from scratch with 0 followers, a bunch of videos are going to get stuck at 20 views, a bunch of videos are going to get stuck at 50 and 100 views, and then you will pretty fast find an outlier that is getting over 1,000 views. That's your first outlier, meaning you need to double down on that. And then you double down on that, you get your first one that got over 10,000 views, 50,000 views, 100,000 views. We're going to go through how exactly the algorithm counts you through that with a new account in a second here. It's pretty awesome. Your mindset's going to be the following. This is going to be a long-term game, and that is totally fine. Some of your content isn't going to perform. That's just the nature of the game. But if you keep at it and you keep listening to our feedback and strategies, if you're a one-on-one client of ours, some content will perform, and then these will become the outliers, which we will then focus on the next phase, in the next phase. Don't focus on going viral. Instead, focus on 2 things. And again, this is coming from someone who's been posting for a decade plus. Number 1, focus on having fun, okay? Because then you can stay consistent. If it's not fun for you, you're going to try it for a month and then give up. And number 2, focus on building momentum. This is a momentum game, very, very key for you. Now, we're going to start with defining your niche, sub-niches, audience, and personality. This is optional just in case you haven't fully defined your niche yet. If you have defined your niche yet, I would still go through this because it will give you a bunch of clarity. For our high-ticket clients, we will collaborate on this with you via your one-on-one coach and the niche assessment sheet that we give to you. Your one-on-one coach may also have sent you here for extra context. Either way, step 1, you want to define your niche. You don't have to go into details yet at this stage. Just ask yourself, what's the overarching topic you'd like to make content about? Most niches fit underneath these 5 mega niches. Physical health, anything that directly or indirectly makes people fitter or healthier. Hobbies and passions, basically anything without any practical purpose, right, for which people develop passions. Pets, motor racing, cars, golf, money, career, and business, anything that helps people or businesses make more money, directly or indirectly. Mental fitness and spirituality, anything that helps people feel more mentally balanced and or cope better with everyday life's challenges and stress. And in love and relationships, anything that helps people lead higher quality relationships with friends, families, or sexual partners. Important, these 5 mega niches just offer you a rough direction of your niche, and yes, some niches might be a combination of some of these 5. Here's some examples. You're a book author and you wrote multiple books on personal development. Your overall niche might be a combination of money and relationship niches, right? Kind of makes sense. Or you're a musician making pop music. We got a lot of musicians in our coachings. Your niche would overall be in the hobbies and passions niche, but your songs might be about love and relationships. So you can see it might be a combination of those. Now, step 2, once you define your overall niche, you want to define your sub-niches. And I said sub-niches, plural, on purpose. This is where you start niching down. You simply ask yourself the following question. What are the 2 to 5 topics within your niche that you'd like to make content about the most? For example, you want to make content about wellness for women. Your topics within that niche could be things like yoga, stretching, breathwork, nutrition, bodyweight exercises, or you want to make content about pets. Your topics within that niche could be things like pet food, pet toys, pet fun facts, funny pet videos. And you want to make content about music, for example, your topics within that niche could be things like your songwriting process, the themes behind your lyrics, your personal life, your creativity. If you're a music coach, we got a ton of music coaches in there, for example. They talk about, mixing and mastering, songwriting, the actual song, whatever, like editing on like the editing softwares, etc. So you get the gist. And then step 3 is you want to define your audience. This one's simple. Who's the ideal audience you'd like to make content for? Not everybody, please. Don't come to me and say, well, my content is kind of for everybody. No, it's not. You need to niche down to a specific audience. What is my audience? Business owners, creators, solopreneurs, and also entrepreneurs that already have a team. I literally mentioned this at the very top, right? So it's pretty clear. Important here, you want to avoid basically anyone. Even if your content could be useful or interesting for anyone out there, still try to niche down to the ideal person that you'd like to consume your content. Why did I make this training multiple hours long? Because I want to work with people who don't mind investing multiple hours into their business growth or personal growth. I can make this video 10 minutes and just be ultra fluff, but I'm sifting out people that are like clicking on this for 5 minutes, like, oh, I don't get value. Okay, good. I don't want to work with you anyways, right? So you can see everything I'm doing is sifting out people I don't want to work with and magnetically almost attracting people that do want to work with me or that I want to work with in this regard. Anyways, You want to define their age range, location, language, interests, pain points, wishes, and dreams and goals. Again, remember what I showed you earlier. I'm like, do you want this? And I showed you exactly the type of goals that our best clients have, so you can identify yourself with those. Step 4, you want to define your personality. And this is something that everybody leaves out. So far, you've probably heard about, niching, down niching. I get it, Max. But like, have you defined your personality? And we will go super deep on that in the viral proficiency and the viral mastery chapters. Ask yourself, how would you like to personalize your content? This is relevant regardless of whether you want to create a personal brand or a faceless brand. What vibe would you like to have in your content? Is it serious, informative, provocative, funny, entertaining, dorky, professional, a combination of those? What do you want your content to look like visually? Bright and colorful, or simple colors, black and white, dark and gloomy, bright and shiny, any specific colors in there? Just as an example here, here's my Max Tornow account. That's probably how you got to this wonderful manifesto here. Let me make my screen a little bit. Boom, there we go. So you can see very easily what the vibe is. You can see a very predominant color scheme. It's usually gold, black, silver, black and white, simplistic stuff. You can see that especially when you click on these, on the reels here. You can see here, it's pretty clear what the vibe is. It's professional. It is, a lot of turtleneck stuff out there. Now you see every now and then an outlier where I'm just shooting something very, very personal, just, in my bed. But most of it has that certain specific Max vibe to it. And that's that is comprised of what I'm wearing in every video, but also what the editing looks like, what fonts we're using, what colors we're using in the text, etc. I also want to give you a quick faceless account that shows the exact same principle behind this. Stoic Legacy, one of my all-time favorite faceless accounts. You can see here there's a clear design behind all of them. There's this like old school type of oil painting vibe, super simplistic text on screen, and it's kind of like medieval / ancient imagery on that, which makes it very, very clear and recognizable. Also, what you want to ask yourself is, what contrarian opinions do you have? What is currently being talked about in your niche that you disagree with? Like I said, we will go much deeper on this in the later section of this training, but it's already worth thinking about at this stage. Examples of good niches versus bad niches, just to go through them. I'm not going to go through them in that crazy detail. You can pause here if you want, but a great one is the general health and fitness. Covers everyone, men, women, athletes, seniors, beginners, no defined audience, no specific pain point, and impossible to stand out against massive accounts. You compare that with strength training for women over 40, specific audience, clear subtopics, hormone-friendly workouts, injury prevention, nutrition, and addresses real pain points like metabolism changes and confidence. Make money online, kind of same thing here. One of our most saturated niches in the internet. No sub-niche, no unique angle, no defined audience. It attracts skepticism, by the way, and it blends into thousands of identical accounts. You got something else, for example, a friend of mine crushes it with this offer. Freelance copywriting for stay-at-home parents. Targets a defined group, parents with limited hours, focuses on one income method, and speaks directly to their lifestyle constraints and goals, highly relatable and specific. I could do the same. Like, I could probably teach a bunch of different people how to monetize whatever their accounts are, whatever their target audience is, but I'm specializing in you here, specifically people who want to monetize via short-form videos on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube Shorts, specifically people who want to build a business or have a business. So you can kind of see how I'm niching down here as well. Again, you can pause here if you want to go deeper on these. Most importantly, you want to define first and refine as you go. This is not something that is carved in stone. You're not going to tattoo this on your forehead and like, okay, I can never change it. A lot of people get stifled when I'm telling them, hey, go niche down and figure out your niche. And then they're like, okay, I'm going to think on this over the next weeks. No. Think about it right now over the next 30 minutes and then refine it later. Don't let perfectionism get in the way. Don't worry if you're not 100% sure about what to niche down on or how to stand out yet. Start frickin' posting. I cannot overemphasize that enough. And I'll tell you this multiple times throughout this training here. The truth will come to the surface as you're getting more experience with both your content as well as what your audience resonates with. In the words of my personal muse, aka my beautiful fiance, geez, you need to chill, stop overthinking, have some Ben & Jerry's. Shout out to Ben & Jerry's. You know what? This whole training is my effort to get sponsored by Ben & Jerry's. That's like a side hustle, like a side quest goal of mine. All right. Let's talk about setting up your profile and bio. I'm going to make a quick cut here just to make sure this video is being saved. There we go. Let's set up your profile and bio. And again, if you already have a profile and bio, this is usually the first thing I see when people come to us or when I'm giving them free feedback on my Instagram. I'm like, your bio sucks. It's super unclear what you're doing. And that's probably why you're not getting followers, even if you're getting views. So let's set up your profile so people can instantly see what your account is all about and perceive it as valuable to give you a follow. This is applicable for Instagram, TikTok, YouTube Shorts, even other social media accounts. Some features may not be usable for every platform, though, obviously, because I think TikTok has way less space for you to put everything in there. So we're going to use Instagram as an example here. Now, let's start with your profile name and handle. The handle isn't nearly as important as you think. The handle is, let me show you here what I mean by the handle. The handle is not necessarily a profile name. It is this one here, at @max_Tornow. Actually, I'm in the process of changing it, so it might look differently already by the time you're looking at this, but that is your Instagram handle. That's not nearly as important as people think. The profile name, however, is, and you want to add keywords to your name that an ideal client would be looking for. I pulled up a very interesting example here. This is one of our clients, Jim. He's a guitar coach. Oh, he just cracked 10,000 followers, by the way. Like yesterday, he had 9,000. That's fantastic. And he's crushing it too. As you can see his views on this one, for example, this was a carousel that we worked on together with him. Over 9,000 likes. I think he got over 1 million views on that. You cannot see it on desktop, but if it's over 9,000 likes, it's well over 1 million views. You can also see some of the views here. Fantastic. 25,000, 245,000, 138,000, 33,000, 31,000, 8,000, 11,000, 3,000, 38,000, 32,000, 733,000. So you see he's absolutely crushing. And he's literally making a sale a day at this point. He has an info product that he sells on autopilot. It's passive income for him. And we're currently working on adding a high ticket offer on top of that so you can easily crack 10K a month. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah. So that's his handle. As you can see, not that important, but the name here, and he added the keywords according to our training. So it's Jim Antonellis, which is his first name and last name. And then he has guitar coach for beginners. He has that in the name. When you add keywords in your name, you will be more likely to pop up if someone goes on the search bar on Instagram and then basically looks for guitar coaching, guitar tips, beginner guitar coaching. You will be more likely to pop up because that keyword is mentioned in your name on Instagram. So very, very, very key. Now, your bio. I split this up into these 4 lines here in the bio. We're going to go through them one by one. The first line of the bio is very clear. Who is your content for and what are people getting? For example, I help target audience with get end result without paying XYZ. Inspiration for young entrepreneurs, easy life content for mothers looking to lose weight, sports cars around the world, technical knowledge, epic cars, rarities, helping dog owners deepen the relationship with their pets. You can see it's very clear who this is for and what people are getting. Second line of bio is a statement /fact /motto that helps you stand out in your niche. You know, for example, if you're a sales coach, selling ice to Eskimos, mother of 3 would also be interesting, especially if you're in a male-dominated niche and you're like a woman and you're a mother on top of that. Holy cow, amazing. Quit law to become a surfer, if you're like a surf coach or a pro surfer. No fluff, just value is also one example. We have Jim here. He says, making practice a game that you can win. Pretty cool. So he's all about practicing and making it easy for the practitioner. Third, or the practicing person, whatever the correct terminology is. And in the third line of your bio, you want to answer the question why you're the go-to person on this topic. It's kind of similar to the second line, but this is more about like facts. 15 years of experience, made $31 million from social media. Actually, it's 32 now. 33, actually, it's 36,000 clients. I mean, that's random examples here anyways, but you get what I'm saying. You want to show here any sort of fact that makes you stand out. So he's trusted by 15,000 plus beginners. And then last but not least, in the fourth line, you want to have a CTA. Only have one CTA. I see some people, they have like a link tree with like 10 different links, or they have a CTA that says DM the word so-and-so and go check out my website. No, give them one CTA, please. Jim here, again, is a great example. Access my 30-minute hack. That is his low-ticket digital coaching offer that is currently making him passive income. And then there's one freaking link on there that brings him directly to the checkout page. Very, very key. You only want to have one link in bio. Linktree with a dozen links is rather meh, and it usually just confuses the hell out of people. So you want to stick to one call to action. This is, again, a huge issue I see with people. They're like, I'm getting views and clicks. Why am I not getting any closes, not any money? Because you have too many options in your bio. Your profile photo for non-personal brands should be your logo or a photo that fits to your brand. For personal brands, should be your face, friendly and competent, clothing that is professional and fits to your niche. Great example here is, again, Jim. You have him with a guitar in the profile photo because he's a guitar coaching. What you see with me is looking professional, looking like, Steve Jobs from Wish, nice background, kind of like an office building and background. And I just looked the part. Very, very key. Clothing, no sunglasses, no pictures from far away, no group photos, no memes. People should see you and you only, and they should see you clearly. And yeah, that's basically that in regards to setting up your profile and bio. Now we're going to talk about quick and easy basics. And you can see here, now we're going to get progressively deeper and deeper and deeper. I want to talk about quick and easy basics because a lot of folks have questions about these as well. It's just going to be quick fire answers to the most frequently asked questions. How many times should I post? As much as you can to keep the quality high, minimum every other day, if possible daily. I'm posting 6 times a week by the time of the 6 times a day by the time of the recording. If you have a team and you're a seasoned content creator, you can probably do that as well. If you're just starting out, have as a goal to post every other day and then ramp it up to daily. When should I post? Consider your ideal audience. When will they spend most time online? Usually that's in the evening after work. If your audience is international and spans multiple time zones, pick a time that fits relatively well for each time zone. For example, my audience is predominantly US and then Europe. So I post most of my content late evening Europe time because that's still during the day for East Coast and West Coast US. Now that I'm posting 6 times a day, I just split it up throughout the day. So I'm posting it like every 3 to 4 hours. I'm posting content. Yes, that's exactly 6 times 4. Perfect. But don't worry if you missed your ideal posting time, still freaking post. Consistency over perfection, plus there's always an element of randomness anyways, so nothing's guaranteed, even if you post at the ideal time, so just post the damn thing. Better to post than posting at the perfect time. How long should an ideal video be? For starters, 15 to 45 seconds. Exceptions exist, of course. General rule of thumb, the longer the video, the better it needs to be to hold people's attention. Shorter videos are easier to get right. This is the first thing that I look at whenever content creators ask me to give them feedback on a specific reel. I look at how long it is. If it's over 45 seconds, I'm like, chances are super high that you're probably rambling, that there's probably a bunch of fluff in there that doesn't need to be there, and you can quote-unquote trim the fat. We will talk about the exact procedure and how to do this later on, so we'll get there. Do hashtags matter? No, not anymore. They're outdated. Nowadays, algorithms can categorize your content much better than any hashtags can do. Yes, we sometimes still test hashtags to see if there's a difference, but you will, of course, be the first one to know if there is, if you're a one-on-one high-ticket client of ours. Can I buy followers? No. Instagram will notice this regardless of how real they're being promoted as. 99% of such services are scam, and you might ruin your entire account in some cases, even forever. So don't do that. I have an old account. Should I post on that one or create a new one? It depends, and we definitely invite you to discuss this directly with your one-on-one coach if you're a high-ticket client of ours. However, a couple rules of thumb. If your old account doesn't have a significant amount of active followers, it's always better to create a new account and start fresh anyways. Like if you have 10,000 followers, yeah, try to reactivate that. If you have 200 followers and most of them are your mom and your aunt and whatever, like what are you losing? Nothing. Create a new account. If your old account has been inactive for multiple months, it might be better to create a new account instead anyways, because the algorithm probably hates you for not being active. If your old account is in a different niche than the content you want to create now, it's definitely better to create a new account, obviously. Because you've been categorized under that niche, plus you might have a following that only wants to watch that old niche and not the new niche, so it would stun your growth. And if your old account has fake followers, it is definitely better to start a new account. What about boosting my videos? Not a good idea, at least for now. Now, if you are an established content creator, you have proof of concept, you're already making money, ideally high ticket, could be low ticket as well, and it's working, and you have a bunch of breakout reels that have been performing exceptionally well organically, yes, then you can boost them and make more money in the process. If you're just getting started and you're like, I hate the fact that I'm only getting 50 views, let me boost it, well, now you're paying to get more views, but it's already proven to be a piece of content that doesn't work well, so it's kind of an uphill battle. You're paying too much to give reach to something that shouldn't get a lot of reach. You're training the algorithm to not get organic reach, and you're committing yourself to always have to spend money for reach. The best and easiest way to get good reach is to get it for free by creating good content. If at some point you decide to use Instagram's boosting function, even then it's still better to boost content that's already performed well organically. Instagram / TikTok / YouTube Shorts / Facebook, etc. What platform to focus on? Well, focus on a single platform first. We call this the rule of one. And no, this is not a Star Wars reference. You want to use our reposting tools. If you're a one-on-one client of ours, we give you reposting tools that automatically repost the same piece of content on the other platforms. If you don't have access to that, because you're not a one-on-one client of ours, that's fine. You can just do it manually. The main credo here is that you want to have your mental focus only going to one platform while you take the other platforms for free, so to speak. So, for example, my main platform is Instagram, but I'm automatically posting on Facebook. I'm posting it on YouTube Shorts as well, and I think we're posting it on TikTok as well. So which platform to pick then, Max? Well, the one you resonate with the most. For me personally, it's Instagram. It's a bit harder to get views, but usually the audience is more bought in. For many people, it's TikTok or YouTube Shorts, whatever floats your boat. Remember, the best diet is the one that you can stick to the most long term. So that's why we're always saying focus on fun. How fast can I expect to get views and followers? It depends on a lot of factors that are in your control as well as outside of your control. We've seen clients go viral with the very first video getting over 1 million views already. We've seen clients having to post for multiple weeks before they experience significant growth. But one thing we've seen with all successful clients is that they all enjoy the process, surprise, surprise, and that they're focusing on learning and getting better instead of just trying to make it work as quickly as possible. Let's focus on what's in your control. For example, how consistently you post, how committed to improving you are, how much fun you're allowing yourself to have in the process, how interesting / easy to watch you make your content. These are all things that are in your control. What's outside of your control is what's happening in your niche at any given moment, trends, topics, general interests. Whether a video gets picked up by the algorithm, we can optimize your video and therefore increase the chances of it doing well, but we can never fully control it. What will my views and followers growth looks like? Generally speaking, there's two kinds of growth that we see. And again, we've worked with over 36,000 clients so far. Growth A is nothing happens until everything happens. These are creators that don't get a lot of views for a while until they have one breakout reel and that absolutely blows them up. So it's kind of like a left to right curve flat, and then boom, it all of a sudden blows up exponentially. All of a sudden, they're getting tens of thousands of followers within a very short time. We've had a client that had over 1 million views on his first video, and literally that got 50,000 or something like that followers. It's pretty crazy. Growth B is linear growth. These are creators whose view numbers and followers just steadily grow. There's no crazy breakout moments, but rather a steady increase. This is what usually happens. It's kind of like the more boring version, but it still works, obviously. And, as long as you're growing. It's less spectacular. That is what most accounts feel like. Again, here, either way, you'll do best if you're focusing on the process and enjoying it instead of just trying to force results. So that's just quick FAQs. Now we're going to talk about how to pick topics and formats for your videos. So now we're getting already much deeper. This is where your journey into viral territory starts. It is so crucial to understand this. A lot of people think it's about the hooks, it's about some freaking hacks to use. No. It all starts at the fundamentals here, and that is the topic and the format of your video. For our high-ticket clients, yes, our AI, Ava, she's the script writing and ideation AI that we have included in our AI stack system. You can do all that. She's trained on this exact training. However, I always say this, Ava is just a tool, and if you don't know the concepts taught here, you won't be able to use her effectively. And again, for our high-ticket Viral Growth Accelerator clients, you're getting deep dive research topics with instructions from us. Yes, those content ideas also adhere to the very same rules that you're learning here, and still, you want to be learning these rules so you can also create awesome videos beyond our content ideas. We're giving you the fish and also teaching you how to fish here, so to speak. And by the way, I forgot to mention that earlier. In case you want to know how exactly this works, if you work with us one-on-one, you can apply for it down below. You cannot just buy this. You have to apply for this because my time is limited. We have only limited staff, and we want to make sure that our quality remains very high. So I'm going to put a link down in the description below for you to apply to work one-on-one with us. Gives you access to the AI stack system, gives you access to me every week, gives you access to all my coaches, all the experts that have resulted in over 1 billion views for our clients so far. So you can check it out if you want to. Anyways, let's talk about how to pick a topic. Generally speaking, there's 4 topic categories. They can easily be remembered with the HEAP acronym. H stands for hero story, right? That's about your or a client's journey or transformation. E stands for education, teaching, giving advice, sharing tips. E stands for entertaining, anything humorous, relatable, etc. And then P is promotional, promoting either a freebie or paid product / service. By the way, these can be mixed. Like you see me adding a promotional aspect to, for example, this manifesto in a lot of my videos, even if they're entertaining videos. But there's also videos that are just pure promotional, where it's just top to bottom, check out my freebie or check out my stuff, my paid stuff. Now, here's the key. The most important concept behind any viral topic is the CCN concept. This is not from me. I got this from one of the best YouTube marketers in the world. So props there. And you need to understand this. This is where 90% of creators go wrong when they're making videos. Let's go through this. So this is one of the core parts of this training here right away already. CCN stands for core audience, casual audience, new audience. This is such an important concept. Please take this to heart and always adhere to this concept whenever you're picking a topic for your video. Core audience. These are the people that know you and or your niche already. Those are the people that are the easiest to please because they're your fans. They love you. So you can post anything. You could just, talk about random stuff. You'll probably get a bunch of views. They will watch almost anything regardless of the quality of the video. Videos that are only interesting for this audience usually get stuck at 100 to 900 views if you have a new account. I have to say, caveat here, if you have a new account. So if I make a core audience video on my personal account, it's not going to get stuck at 100 to 900 views. It probably gets stuck at about like 3,000 views-ish. Casual audience, these are people that don't watch every piece of your content. They're not super familiar with the ins and outs of your niche. They only watch some videos as long as they're easy to follow and easy to consume. Videos that are interesting for casual audiences usually get stuck at 1,000 to 9,000 views if you have a new account. Now let's talk about new audience, and this is really the key behind viral. Viralism, if you want to speak virality. New audiences means these are people that don't know you exist. They've never watched any of your videos. They might be familiar with your niche, but they are by far the hardest to please. If you want to reach those people, your content needs to catch attention by a great hook, got to be interesting to watch, and have no boring moments, obviously. So all these small nitty-gritty things that we're going to talk about in the next chapter down below, where we're going to talk about the viral video checklist. So those folks are very hard to please. Videos that are interesting for new audiences usually reach minimum 10,000 views. They go above and beyond 1 million plus views. So there's no ceiling, right? There's people that get 50 million views on a single video because it's broad and it attracts a new audience. It addresses a new audience. Bottom line, if you want your video to get a lot of views, always make sure the topic isn't just interesting to your core audience, but also to a casual and new audience. Let me give you an example here. Example number 1, Instagram growth niche, right? That is my niche. I'm taking my niche because you know me and maybe it helps you extrapolate it onto your niche. If I would make a video about how to warm up your DM leads using my 3-step voice note framework, it would only work for people who already follow me and know that I sell through the DMs, as an example, right? They would only care about this. Casual audience topics, if I would take that topic and I would turn it into a casual audience, I would say something like why your Instagram DMs aren't converting and what to fix, right? So it's a broader pain point, more people can relate to it, and it's still niche specific. Now, if I want to turn this into a new audience topic, I would say something like why you're posting every day and still not growing. It's a very universal frustration. Even people outside my niche can relate to that stagnation, right? And it's emotions first, mechanics second. I just turn it into a very sexy new audience topic. Give you second example here, fitness/fat loss niche, core audience topic, how I periodize my carb cycling during a 12% cut. Only people already deep into lifting, tracking macros, and following you care about this. If you were to turn this into a casual audience topic, you would say why you're not losing fat even though you're eating healthy. That's a broader pain, still fitness specific, but understandable for most people trying to get lean. Hold on, I just gotta get the door real quick. All right, just had to get the door. The chef was delivering groceries. Anyways, casual audience, we've already done it. Now, if I would turn this into a new audience topic, you're not overweight because of food. Now, here we got a pattern interrupt. It attacks a widely held belief. It pulls in anyone struggling with composition, even outside hardcore fitness circles. If this is still targeted towards your audience, you can really see the difference between the core audience topic, the carb cycling, you're at 12% cut, versus you're not overweight because of food. You need to go broad enough to attract a new audience. And this is something that nobody teaches. Everybody out there is teaching you about the hooks, about what freaking hashtags to use, all this tactical stuff. They're missing the strategic stuff. It is actually the core of the main thing here that you need to understand. Let's talk about how to pick a format. What is a format? It's basically the style of the video, aka the way it's filmed or shown on screen. For example, simple clip, simple text format. These are videos that just have text on screen while with like one simple clip in the background. I'm going to show you a quick example here. For example, the study coach, Tom Vorselin, he's one of our clients for our AI chat software, and he's got 500,000 followers, and he basically does simple clip, simple text videos, right? It's literally just this. There's a simple clip in the background, simple text on top of it, and then it just, boom, has some value in the captions. Our AI interface edits those automatically, by the way. It's pretty awesome. I'll show you later. Also, talking head format. These are videos where someone is talking directly to the camera. Whiteboard format. These are videos where someone explains a concept while drawing / writing on a whiteboard. It's pretty self-explanatory. Now, we will go deeper into formats in the intermediate section of this training. If you're a beginner, you should start with mostly simple clip, simple text videos, abbreviated SCST. Why? Because they're super easy to create, very easy to create. They're very hard to get wrong, and you really just kind of need to know how to have a good text hook and how to make something valuable for your new audience, like core casual and most importantly, new audience. That's pretty much it. And like we've seen clients with zero experience, zero charisma, never talk in front of camera, just make a simple clip, simple text video, got multiple hundreds of thousands of views. So it's a great way to start. And then you can always expand later into more sophisticated formats as you're becoming more comfortable and confident. If you like, you can already check the currently most popular formats in this document here, which we're always keeping up to date. This is completely optional for now, though. You don't have to look at this. And again, if you're watching this right now via the freebie version, check this document, like the main document, in the description down below, and it links to this document that I'm opening right now. This is the niche categories and their ideal angles formats. We're going super in depth in here. There's basically 3 niche categories. One is visual niches. The other one is verbal niches right here. And then the third one is product niches. I don't want to go too much in depth here at this point. Again, feel free to check out this document. It shows you all kinds of different formats for each and every niche category. And the cool thing is we add this as an extra service. You click on a video, you click on the link, and then it opens the actual freaking video so you can actually see it in person. And you're like, okay, so that's the whatever format there is, right? So it's pretty awesome. It's pretty straightforward. So feel free to check this out if you want to dive deeper on that already. We will dive deeper on that later on in this training. Let's talk about the viral video checklist. And again, if I were to give someone 20% of knowledge that will get them 80% of the results, the CCN framework and this viral video checklist is probably going to be the 2 main things. So pay attention, because this is going to already, it should be able, if you implement it properly, get your videos to go viral. Below is a simple checklist of things that most viral videos include. This is, of course, not a hard rule. There's plenty of viral videos. Oops, there's a space missing. Boom. There's plenty of viral videos that don't tick off all the boxes below. And there's plenty of viral videos that tick off much more than these. However, generally speaking, the more boxes your video ticks off from the checklist below, the more likely it is to get a lot of views. Yes, our AI Ava, she's again the script writing AI tool. If you can see that here, it's the ideas and scripting AI. I called her Ava because she stands for Automated Viral Assistant, I think. I'm horrible with acronyms. But anyways, like she's trained on this. She's included in our AI stack system. She can do all this for you. And again, she's just a tool, though. If you don't know how the concepts are taught here actually work, you won't be able to use her effectively. So this is, again, if you're one of our high-ticket clients, you have access to this AI stack system. Comes complimentary with it. Anyways, the main components of the viral video checklist are the hook, scripting and trimming the fat, payoff or takeaway, and last but not least, targeting casual and new audiences. Just gonna reiterating what I've just told you about the CCN framework. Let's talk about the hook. This is what people see, hear, and read in the first 3 seconds of your video. The hook is by far the most important part of the video, of course, because that's the first thing people see, right? Your videos can be super duper valuable, super interesting, super funny, but if the first 3 seconds don't make the average viewer want to watch the whole video, then none of this matters. And I see this so many times. I would almost say the more of an expert you are in your field, the harder it is for you to get this right, because you're thinking and talking at such a high level that the average viewer can't even relate. I say this to my clients all the time. I'm like, you're too smart to make interesting videos. You need to dumb yourself down. And a quick and simple framework to remember to make good hooks is the so-called CIA framework. This is, again, super duper crucial for you to pick this up. So please pay attention. Write some notes if you want. The C in the CIA framework stands for clarity. How clear is the hook of your video in regards to what it is about and who it is for? You want to have specificity, okay? I had a beginner client come to us once, and her video was, as a context, she's teaching female entrepreneurs management and leadership, right? Just bear that in mind. And her hook literally went something like this. Have you ever tried to explain something brilliant only to watch their eyes glaze and be confused? Here's what I have a problem with in regards to the C, aka clarity. She says, have you ever tried to explain something brilliant only to watch their eyes glaze? The first thing I would say here is, who's they? What is this about? Unless I'm a core audience member, which knows what her niche is about, I would be confused as hell. If I was a new audience member and that video would pop up on my screen, I'm like, oh, is this parenting advice? Have I ever tried to explain something to my kids? Is it posting content advice? Have I ever tried to explain something to my audience? Is it management advice? Have I ever explained something to my staff? Is it teacher's advice? Have I ever tried to explain something to my students? I don't know. So on a clarity scale of 1 to 10, a hook such as that one would rate very, very low. So again, anytime you make a hook, ask yourself, is it clear what it is about and who it is for? Moving on to I. I stands for intrigue, making people think, wow, I want to watch the entire video, right? Common ways to create that intrigue include contrarian takes, saying something that goes against what's commonly known in your niche. We will go much deeper on this in a second and a couple more chapters down below, where we literally are going to give you an exercise where you can find out what your contrarian takes are. For example, if I were to go out now, and I would probably by the time you watch this, I made a bunch of videos on that, where I would say it's not about hooks. If you want to create viral content as a business owner, forget about hooks. Why is this so key? Because in my niche, everybody says hooks, 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 hooks. If I would then say, hey, yeah, hooks are important, but it is actually about the strategy underlying this, meaning the core, casual, and new audience concept, now I'm standing out via a contrarian take. So if I start the video by saying, hooks are not going to get you views if you're a business owner or content creator, that's immediately going to create intrigue and it's going to make people want to watch. FYI, that hook also included a lot of clarity because I was specific about what this is about and who it is for. Second thing is novelty of information. If you're the 10,000th fitness coach who's going to make a video that says, the six-pack's not made in the gym, it's made in the kitchen, and you just got to be in a calorie deficit, people have heard this 1,000 times in the last 48 hours. So if they watch your video and it doesn't start with a new piece of information, or at least a piece of information that is packaged like it is something new, they're not going to watch because their level of intrigue is very low, thus the I in the CIA framework. Another great way to do this is to have a provocative or surprising statement. It's kind of similar to a contrarian take. A contrarian take, I would say, is rather something that is proven, where you have like an actual opinion and explanation why that is. A provocative / surprising statement is just kind of like you're trying to throw out a surprising, provocative statement. One of my viral videos was, walking is for people who are broke. You know, like I walk, I'm not broke, but it's just very provocative and went ultra viral. And in that video, basically say, hey, you know, go take an Uber and work, and then at home have a treadmill desk. It's kind of tongue-in-cheek fun, but that's an example of being provocative / surprising. Or you can introduce an interesting sounding framework, like the CIA framework. So if I would make a video here saying 3 tips to go viral, it's not as intriguing as I say the CIA framework helps you to go viral. Right? Because the framework itself sounds, oh, it's the CIA framework. If you have an interesting acronym or an interesting name for the framework, that's always going to work. One of the most famous frameworks, you know, is KISS. Keep it simple, stupid. It's an interesting name. It immediately grabs attention and creates intrigue. Or an interesting personal story / experience. If you, for example, said, I had one video that went pretty well, not viral, but it worked very well for my audience. It started something like, I used to rent Lambos in every single city I went to. Now I just take Ubers. I used to live in a $12,000 penthouse with a $15,000 jacuzzi that I had lifted on it. Now I exchanged it for a claustrophobic office. That's an interesting personal story / experience that I'm leading with in my hook already. And last but not least, A in the CIA framework stands for attention grab. This is mostly referring to your visual hook. Does your video look interesting / different enough at the first glance? Imagine that video popping up while you're scrolling. Let's literally just do an example here. Let's have a look. So this is how I always like thinking when I'm making content. I just go to the Reels tab. I mean, I do it on my phone. This is now on the desktop, but in essence, it's very, very similar. Like, what was the first thing that immediately stood out? It was this one. I'm like, geez, what happened here? I'm not the type of person to call to the law, call the cops, and now he's some guy's commenting on it or something like that. But you can see it immediately stood out. So I think this is a person talking about domestic violence or something like that. Now, if I would scroll down further, what would stand out? This one would stand out. I'm like, wow, what's going on here? It's AI, but as a visual, it stands out immediately. If I would go to the Reels tab here, this is a better way to really show off this concept. As it's loading, I'm like, boring, better, but kind of boring. I would keep scrolling. I like the swoop that she did, the swoosh from the camera. That was good. Boring, better because there was movement. Boring, better because there was movement. This thing popped up. He was pointing at it. Down below here, you have these three things. So you can see here how visually some things stand out more than others. This is dark. Couldn't really see it. This one's interesting because the hair is interesting. He moved the camera out. This is rather boring. This is rather boring. The words are not moving fast enough. This one's kind of boring. This one's better. There's movement up here. So you can literally train your brain and your eyes to understand what they're attracted to and what is grabbing your attention. And that is the A in the CIA framework. Now, you'll see me making videos that aren't all visually interesting. You don't have to do that. But again, if you checkbox that, it will give you a higher chance of making your video perform better. What was I going to say? If you, however, are just really good at your verbal and headline hook, you don't need the A for attention grab. If you're really good at the C and the I, you're totally fine. However, if you want to maximize your chances of getting more views, adhere to all three of those. Super easy, right? Now, if you want, you can dive deeper. Let's talk about hooks and how they're split up into three different parts. This is mostly just there for you to understand the terminology, but a hook is split into three different parts. I also call this a triple hook concept. Again, intrigue, an interesting sounding concept, right? Number one, you have the visual hook, aka what is seen in the first 3 seconds. A good visual hook catches the viewer's attention on screen. This can be done in many ways. For example, an interesting action is performed. We've just kind of seen it as we were scrolling through. Movement instead of just the boring scenery. We've just showed that as well. Interesting facial expressions. So instead of just talking to the camera like this, you're more excited in your facial expressions, or like weirded out or curious. Like you can do so much with your face in this regard. An object is held into the camera. One of my best performing videos was me holding a Rolex into the camera starting. And it's like, here's what you can learn from this Rolex if you want to make higher prices or something like that. If you want to make more money or charge higher prices as a coach, because I held something interesting into the camera. One of my friends, Dakota, he had this video where he talked about LinkedIn profiles, and he held a fish, like a frozen fish, into the camera. It's like, this fish is your profile or something like that. And like, I still remember that. I don't even know what the video was about, but I'm like, the fish video, right? You can see you're holding something into the camera. There's a whiteboard with concepts on the screen. What I like to do often is have a whiteboard, and the stuff that's on the whiteboard is covered by a Post-it notes or big pieces of paper, and there's like a question mark on it, and I rip down the papers, and therefore I'm revealing what's on it, because it creates intrigue. It's interesting on a visual perspective. Interesting props are being used. Same spiel here. Whatever. Like you're using different colored Smarties. I've had it where I've had cups with Post-its on it, and I lifted up the cup because there was like something underneath. If you can explain something with props, you can turn a very boring video into something much more interesting visually. Headline hook, that's the second part of the triple hook analogy, aka what is written on screen in the first 3 seconds. A good headline hook is simple. It's usually on a 5th grader level. It's short, and it includes power words instead of just boring words. Why 5th grader level, Max? Like, my audience is sophisticated. I get it, but your audience is still human, and they still have a low attention span. Again, this brings me back to the concept of, if you're smart, it actually hurts you with your short form videos. You need to dumb it down. If you look at Donald Trump, hate him or love him, this is not a political video here. He's really good at 5th grader level talking. He keeps things very simple. We're going to build a wall. We're going to make him pay for it. He's not saying, we, the United States, are planning to rise up, to build a gigantic wall at the border between the US and Mexico, and in order to finance this whole endeavor, we shall let the Mexicans which live south of our border pay for it. That would not be 5th grader level. 5th grader level is, we're going to build a wall, we're going to have them pay for it. You can see, super simple, super straightforward. A lot of politicians, especially the ones that are very popular, they speak at 5th grader level. Even if my audience, you, business owner, or someone that wants to start a business, you're probably more sophisticated than the average quote-unquote civilian, but I keep my words short, my sentence short, and I keep everything on a 5th grader level. I also include power words instead of boring words. So instead of saying, here's 3 good tips, I'm like, the best 3 non-sexual pieces of advice I've ever heard. That's a power word, non-sexual, interesting. These 3 brainwash hooks are these 3 ways to immediately lose weight. Like, there's always power words in it in the most attractive hooks. And then we have the verbal hook, aka what is being said in the first 3 seconds. Not all videos have that because some video are just video plus text on screen, but the rules for a good verbal hook are exactly the same as the rules for a good headline hook, which is these right here, and of course the CIA framework. So Max, what is it? Is it now the CIA framework, or is it the triple hook concept? Well, the CIA framework is a so-called like a shortcut. It's like, it's easier to remember, and if you then want to dive deeper into this, you can split it up into the triple hook concept of like, okay, what do I show visually on screen? What do I say verbally? What do I have as a headline hook? I prefer thinking in the CIA framework, and only if I really want to go nitty-gritty with a video, I just think about the triple hook concept. Let's move on to the second item on the checklist. First item was the hook, which we have up here. Second item is the payoff or takeaway. This is sorry about that. That's the third one. The second one is the scripting and trimming the fat. This is relevant for videos where you're speaking into the camera, but it's also videos that just have text on screen. Yes, script every video, no matter how experienced you are. A lot of my videos are actually scripted. Sure, I have some off-the-cuff videos, but for me personally, as a seasoned public speaker, this only works when I'm really in the zone. So if you're a business owner and you're constantly like working on numbers, your management, like your brain is not in public speaking mode. So a lot of times I'm not in that mode. So that's why I script videos and then I just read them off the phone. It's super easy. There's a teleprompter app. Literally type in teleprompter. You can have it hover right below the camera on your iPhone and you just read it off of it. People don't notice. I mean, maybe if you're terrible at reading off the teleprompter, I'm really good at it. I'm going to show you an example. And sometimes I'm super in the zone and then I can shoot videos just off the cuff, but most of the time not. I'm just going to show you an example just so you can see how natural things can be, okay? There we go. So, for example, I'm going to show you an off-the-cuff video and then I'll show you a scripted video. This is an off-the-cuff video.
Cares if you look stupid or cringe in your videos. Let me prove it. I like wearing dresses. I stole money from my grandma to buy Ben & Jerry's. You see? So your friends might laugh at you for trying to be a content creator for a day, but fuck them. You can always get new friends. So let me make this real.
You can see here how there's cuts in between because of me having rambled a little bit too much. So we cut out some of the parts, or me having to think about what I'm going to say next. So we had to cut out some of the parts. So this was an off-the-cuff video. Now, if you compare it with, there's one that was, oh yeah, that's right. It's a very good example. This one here.
I used to live in a $12,000 a month penthouse with a $15,000 jacuzzi that I'd lifted up to the 20th floor. I used to rent Lamborghinis in every single city I traveled to, and I used to throw parties lavishly every single weekend, and I replaced all of that.
I'm reading it off the screen right now. You cannot see it because I'm really good at it, but I'm reading off the screen. So it doesn't look different from the off-the-cuff video, but there's no cuts or almost no cuts because I scripted it before. And FYI, little side note for the CIA framework, have a look. We're going to play it without sound. Have a look at what I'm doing here. Do you see that movement? That's deliberate. I'm not actually just putting the camera down. I actually did like a bunch of shots, bunch of takes for that. Me taking the camera down, me putting the camera down, me putting the camera down over and over again. This gives this format a little bit of an off-the-cuff sort of vibe. Even though I'm reading it off the screen, I scripted it, I very well prepared it. but it makes it look like it's just this thing that I'm just talking about very naturally because I'm putting the camera down, which also coincides with the CIA framework right here where we're saying attention grab. Does your video look interesting, different enough at first glance? Imagine that video popping up while you're scrolling. And as we scrolled earlier, all the videos that popped out had movement in it, right? Same goes for the visual hook here. Movement instead of just boring scenery, right? Just tiny movement, putting the phone down already helps a lot with the visual hook and therefore also the grabbing attention. So it does two things. Visually interesting, and it makes the format seem very spontaneous, very off the cuff. So yeah, that's why you want to script every single video, no matter how experienced you are. Unless you need to have to cut a ton, you just script the damn thing, okay? And if you're one of our high-ticket clients, we have a scripting AI. It's pretty cool. First of all, we have a scripting AI, Ava. You just basically say, make me 10 viral scripts. You tell it your niche and your audience, it will spit out 10 scripts. And no, it's not ChatGPT. It's actually been trained on this very training. So it immediately spits out scripts that adhere to the CIA framework and to all the hook concepts and the viral video checklist. But also, you have a script rewriting AI. I'm going to show you this later, where you basically copy paste any viral video, any video there is, as long as it has spoken audio in it. And you can have it immediately be rewritten in your niche. It's super cool. And in your style, so it looks and sounds like you. And then you have the script feedback AI. It's very harsh. We programmed it to be very harsh. You can upload your script in here, and it immediately grades your script and tells you where you need to improve and how to improve it. It grades it based on hook quality, content efficiency, stakes and curiosity, payoff, shareability, all the things that we're talking about here in this very training. It's pretty awesome. If you're a high-ticket client of ours, you get access to this. This is the very AI tools that I'm using myself to create a ton of content very quickly, very easily, with very little time invest, because I'm a busy business owner, probably like you. Anywho, scripted fact. So yeah, that's why I'm saying you want to script most of your videos, and you'll be surprised. I have so many experts in my coachings. They're like, I made this video. It's off the cuff. What do you think about it? And it's a 3.5 minute video. And I'm like, it's 3.5 minutes. You're supposed to make 15 to 45 seconds. And then they're like, I could have sworn it's only 30 seconds long. Like, I didn't know, like, and I had noticed too, when I ramble, I'm like, what, it's 3 minutes? I thought it's fucking 30 seconds. Like, how little can I put in this if it's only 30 seconds? So if you're new to this, you'll be surprised how little you actually have to say to get to 30 seconds. That is why if you script things, you can actively trim the fat. You can shorten it much more because you see the words on screen in front of you. In fact, the more experienced you are, the more important the scripting is, since otherwise you ramble and your videos become too long. Trust me, I know what I'm talking about as a fellow rambler, in case you haven't noticed. Ha. You want to cut out anything from your video or script that is boring, that is repetitive, that you've said before, or that is unnecessary. I call this concept the economy of words. There's a great book about that. You don't need to read the book. All you need to know is every single sentence has to have a reason why it's in there. If it's repeating what you said before, cut it out. If it's boring, cut it out. If it has unnecessary information that isn't crucial, cut it out. That's basically it. And like I said, a script feedback AI will also help you with this. And yes, he's quite harsh. We called him, what's the name of the script writing AI? Sage. Here, Sage, script analysis and grading engine. We always give him cool acronyms. So yeah, he's very harsh. And then of course we have the payoff, aka the takeaway. This is becoming a little bit more philosophical now, so please pay attention. You want to resolve the curiosity that your hook has created. You want to give people something they take away from the video. In essence, you want to do the following. If I were to show your video to a stranger on the internet, they watch it once for 30 seconds, and then I take the phone away and I say, what was the video about? If they cannot clearly say, oh, it was about this one thing, then your video does not have a takeaway, right? You do this by sticking to one idea per video. Don't mix multiple different ideas into one video, as that will lead to confusion for the viewer. Videos that are too all over the place usually just make people feel confused at the end because there is no clear one takeaway from the video. Videos that touch on too many topics all at once usually create the feeling of, I don't really know what I just saw. I don't really know what the video is about. It's just so many things, aka no real takeaway. Videos that are too rambly often lead to the viewer not remembering anything and therefore feeling there's no takeaway or payoff. Why is this so crucial? Because if there's no takeaway or payoff, they're not going to share it. They're probably going to get bored. Like the moment they're confused, they will scroll away. It's not just being boring that makes people scroll away. It's also being confusing that makes people scroll away. So the moment they're confused, they're like, wait, I thought this video was about the thing and now it's about something else. Oh, I'm going to scroll away, right? They're not going to give you the benefit of the doubt, especially not casual and new audiences. So that's important. And then also, if people don't have a clear takeaway, they don't like the content, they don't comment on it, they don't share it, which means the algorithm sees your piece of content as unworthy and it gets stuck at a couple hundred views, which we don't want, right? Not es bueno, nicht gut. We don't want that. Remember the CCN audience, last but not least. That's the last part of this viral video checklist. A viral video needs to not only be relevant for a core audience, but also for casual audience and a new audience. That is the viral video checklist. To summarize it, and again, like I recommend you download this document and maybe print out the viral video checklist or write it on a post-it, slap it on your monitor or wherever your workstation. It is the hook, scripting and trimming the fat, the payoff or takeaway, targeting casual and new audiences. If I were to teach you one single concept that will drastically increase your chances of going viral, it would be this. And now you have it. All right? Now, let us move on. Easy algorithm basics. We've talked a lot about the psychology, right? Like what people like to see, like to hear, like to read. Now, in these algorithm basics, we're going to talk about the algorithmic side of things, and nowhere it's being taught in the way you can see this right now. We have people on the inside, we have connections at Meta, and we know people who've been involved, not to everything, but to a small degree in the creation of the algorithm. And therefore, I'm about to teach you stuff here that nobody talks about that is absolutely crucial if you want to understand how the algorithm, specifically for Instagram, but in a wider circle for all social media platforms actually works. Disclaimer here, we're using the Instagram algorithm as an example. The TikTok, Facebook, YouTube Shorts algorithms all vary in their details, but broadly speaking, they will look for the same signs described below. General signs the algorithm is looking for in order to play your video out to a lot of people. Number one, average watch time being 100% plus. Make your video interesting from beginning to the end. The best viral videos are actually videos that have a higher than 100% watch time, meaning they on average get watched 150%, 200% because the average person watches it more than once. This is not the only thing that they're looking for, but it is one of the main factors. That means if you have a boring beginning, people are not going to watch your video. If you're boring in the middle of the video and people scroll away, now your average watch time is maybe 30% or 50%. Not good, nicht gut. If you have a video, for example, that is great, but then you have a long, drawn-out, weird ending, like, anyways, thank you for watching, and by the way, make sure you follow this video and comment down below your opinion on the topic. That's a long, freaking drawn-out ending. The moment people hear, thank you for watching this video, they're like, video is done, scroll away. And now an otherwise perfectly fine video has a much lower watch time on average because it's only 80% or 90%, which immediately gets punished by the algorithm. That is why you see me have very abrupt endings. Sometimes I have loop endings. And if I have a CTA at the end, it's very quick. Like, hey, by the way, if you want to have the manifesto, comment manifesto down below and I'll send it to you for free. Very fast because I know, oh, people know it's the end. Just squeeze out as much as possible to keep that average watch time high. More about how to do that, the tactical side of things, later. For now, this is something that you need to understand about algorithms. Shares. Also one of the signs that the algorithm looks for. Make your video valuable and or entertaining enough so people share it. Why is this so key? Well, if people share your video, you automatically get more views. But also in the eyes of the algorithm is like, cool, this video gets shared to other people, so more people get stuck, glued to the screen on our platform. The algorithm wants people to spend as much time on their platform as possible. It doesn't want shitty videos, because a shitty video makes people close the app and go to do something else on their phones, which is why the algorithm needs good videos and pushes only good videos, because if it pushed bad videos, people wouldn't be on frickin' Instagram anymore, which kind of makes sense if you think about it, right? Saves, same. When people save your content, it's a sign to the algorithm that this is valuable or funny or entertaining or whatever it is, because people will want to watch it later. And also when they do, your average watch time creeps up. Likes, same, but more emotional relatability, meaning if a lot of people like your content, it's again a sign to the algorithm that this content is relevant or interesting or funny or entertaining or whatever. Comments, same spiel here. It engages people. Why does the algorithm like people commenting? Because when they comment, they're emotionally invested and they spend more time on the platform, which means content that gets people to comment gets pushed by the algorithm. So you want to make your videos provocative, maybe have a lot of people disagree with it, totally fine. Like, you cannot be afraid to piss people off in this game. I'm telling you this once. We're going to go through it in the contrarian ideology section later on, much more detail. make people think, make people share their opinion. Here's a little bit of a secret trick here, okay? I sometimes say something really provocative on purpose just so people comment their opinion on how stupid I am or how much they disagree with me. And I'm just sitting there in the background like an evil, like freaking Saruman, like, because I'm like, thank you for the engagement. And you know what I sometimes do too, off the cuff, not even part of this training? My favorite line to respond with to haters is, what do you mean? It's the funniest thing. Okay, you know what? Hell, I'll show you. I'll share it right now. Let's go dive deep. What was that video? I remember. Oh, yeah. It is so good. It's so good. It's just, okay, check this out. So Masterclass in hating, okay? Check this out. Masterclass in hater grooming. I'm grooming my own haters. Check this out, okay? From top to bottom. Let's watch this video real quick.
This is what I'm eating for dinner.
Interesting visual hook holding steak into the camera.
There's a 14-year-old who only eats whole food.
Contrarian take as a verbal hook.
First up, we have a juicy
Visualization of what is being talked about.
grass-fed ribeye,
Grass-fed, further enhancing what he said in the verbal hook.
along with 3 pasture-raised eggs.
Further enhancing what he said in the verbal hook.
We also had a ton of organic fruit.
Wait for it.
Of course, we had some raw milk and some raw honey.
Contrarian take, most people would consider raw milk as unhealthy, which it isn't, by the way.
So,
Why do you think I said which it isn't, by the way? To elicit exactly what's happening right now. Because this is me just breaking down the video from a marketing or content creation perspective. But I'm specifically saying, oh, raw milk isn't unhealthy, by the way. I'm not a health expert, but get this. The Grifty XR, he's posting, he's like, the position that raw milk is healthy requires the belief that untreated water with typhoid and other diseases is healthy. Moronic take. I'm like, come to Papa, my friend. Welcome to my kingdom. I'm like, I literally put this in the video so people like you comment. Now guess what happened? I'm like, what do you mean? Do I really not know what he means? Oh, I know what he means, but I'm like, I want this guy to leave a lengthy comment after this. So he's like, if your reasoning is that raw equals, you know what I did? I didn't even read it. I did not read this comment. To this day, I haven't read it, and I probably won't. So I'm just like, that's amazing. Can you explain that further? AKA, can you give me more comments? So the video gets pushed out to more people. Explain what? That sounds like sarcasm. It's straightforward propositional logic. If you can't grasp that argument, then I can't help you. And I'm like, you mean raw milk is healthier than tap water? Or what are you referring to? He's like, oh, you're serious? No, you're not tracking. You call it a raw milk, a liquid containing high, and I'm like, I never made any of these I never made any of these claims. Can you link me where I said that? I said it in this video. He's like, do you post things without watching him, or do you generally not understand basic logic? I'm like, sorry, I don't follow. Where did I say that? Are you just trying to get me to comment to boost your video? You're being disingenuous. And I'm like, what do you mean? And then he's like, deleting my comments, amazing. I never deleted the comments, okay? So that was one thing where I'm like, hey, I didn't do that. I'm like, what do you mean? All your comments are still there. And then he's like, oh, has a habit of functioning properly. I see all the comments now, all good. Oh, did I reply to him again? Let's see. Yeah, I forgot to reply. Okay, let's have a look. If you saw you didn't say rare or dilate, it's healthy when it's... Can I not reply anymore? Hold on a second. Oh, okay, there it is, down here. I never said any of those things. Can you show me where you saw it? And coincidentally, this is a video that performed decently well with 15,000 views. So I would almost argue it's probably 2,000 or 3,000 views are just because... are just because this guy commented back and forth. So I think this hater commenting probably got me an extra 2,000 or 3,000 views on this one, and ergo also a bunch of followers. So you want to monetize, you want to weaponize haters, you want to groom them, so to speak. And again, this only works if you don't mind. Like if you're like, oh no, I'm gonna think about this hater now all day. Yeah, then you know, get a helmet. Life's tough. I recommend you get over that, because especially when you do blow up, you will get haters, even if you don't say things on purpose. Like I made this literally on purpose because I knew people would comment. Even if people generally try to attack your opinion, which they will, you need to be okay with that, okay? Now, why did this video not completely blow up, even though this guy commented so much back and forth? in case you're wondering. Well, because that's not the only metric. Like I said, the algorithm also looks at average watch time, shares, likes, and all the other things. So just because one guy comments a lot doesn't mean the video is going to blow up, but it certainly helps. All right. Also make people think, make people share their opinion, make people want to get something you offer via the comment XYZ below CTA. It's probably why you're watching this manifesto, because you probably either came to it from one of my story CTAs or from my Reels CTAs. And that's also why people say comment below instead of link in bio. I generally, on a side note, never recommend you tell people to link in bio. I'm talking more about this in the Instagram Stories Masterclass, which you can also get for free, by the way. Just DM me the word on Instagram on max_Tornow on this account here. Hold on, where's my handle? On this account, just message me the word stories, and it will automatically send you the Stories Masterclass. You can also reply to one of my stories with the word stories. That is totally fine as well. It will send you that. Anyways, in there I'm talking, never ever tell people to link in bio. Why? Because the algorithm, again, wants people to stay on their platform. So if you say link in bio, it links people away from the platform, which means your piece of content does not get boosted by the algorithm. But if you say comment down below, and then despite the fact that you're sending people to your website, to your offer, away from the platform in the DMs, despite that fact, you're still telling people to comment, which leaves them on the platform longer, which is why the algorithm then boosts it. Just a little bit of a side note here. We're going deep. We're going friggin' deep here. All right, so that's channel science. Now, this is now super duper key, okay? Nobody teaches this anywhere. How the algorithm treats a brand new account, explained super simply. I checked this with my fiance. She approved. She's like, yep, that's simple enough. Makes super sense. I actually fed this into AI to really make it sound really simple, okay? The algorithm knows nothing about you yet on the first stage. You have to understand it. This is if you have a new account. When a new account starts posting videos, Instagram has no idea who should see the videos, whether people will enjoy them, what topic the account belongs to. Instagram doesn't know, okay? For all that it knows is you're going to make a bunch of shit content, so it wants to protect its audience from that shit content. Even if your content is great, Instagram will treat it very carefully. It's kind of like, you see an attractive person at the mall, you're like, and it doesn't matter whether you're really cool. The moment you talk to them, they're probably going to be like, oh, who is this person? Are they crazy? Are they weird? Are they going to rob me? Right? They're going to treat it with care. So, a terrible example, but you get the gist. Because of this, it shows every video to a very small number of people first. Think of it like a small test audience. Then, the first views decide what happens. The first views of that small test audience. The algorithm watches how those people behave. It mainly looks at things like, do people scroll away immediately? Do they watch most of the video? Average watch time. Do they watch it again? Average watch time. Do they like, comment on, share, or save it? Engagement, like all the things we talked about above. These early reactions determine whether the video spreads further or not. Now, with my example, where this random guy commented, my video probably would have gotten 10, 12,000 views, but it got 14, 15,000 views. If you have a completely new account with zero followers, a single person commenting can be the differentiating factor between your video getting 20 views and 1,000 views. I've seen this over and over again whenever we created new accounts from scratch with our clients. A single comment would immediately boost the video up to 1,000 views or a couple hundred views at the very least, because it's such a strong sign of engagement, just a single comment, which is why we're talking more about contrarian takes and contrarian ideology later on a strategic level, because that is going to absolutely help you blow up much, much faster than without it. These early reactions determine whether the video spreads further or not. If people lose interest quickly, the video stops spreading. So if the first viewers quickly scroll past the video or stop watching early, the system assumes this video is not very interesting, so it stops showing it to more people. This is crucial now. This is why some videos only get a handful of views, sometimes just 3 to 5. If you have a new account or you create a new account and some of your videos got stuck at 5, this is why. That is how small that test audience is. Why doesn't Instagram give me a chance? It should show it to thousands of people. No, it won't, because it cannot risk people having a bad experience on their account. So it's going to show new videos to a tiny fraction of people. Why? Because there's I can't remember, what was it, 1 million hours of content get posted every day on Instagram or something like that. So imagine every single one of these million of hours of videos or millions of videos. I can't remember the exact number. It's a lot. If every one of those would get played out to 1,000 people, the experience you would have as a viewer on Instagram would be much worse. And which means that the likelihood of you moving on to a different platform that is competing with Instagram would be higher. So Instagram is not going to take any chances with you. It's like, look, you got 5 people. Those motherfuckers better really react well to this. Otherwise, we're not going to play this video out tomorrow. So it's like a bouncer at a bar. You don't like your shoes. Not today, buddy. So it's very, very key. Now, it's still going to try to play your videos out to a relevant audience. It's going to look at the keywords, meaning the words that you're saying in the video. It knows that because it transcribes it. It's going to look at your overall account. If you have posted 3, 4, 5 videos on the same niche already, it has more information to really kind of pinpoint what the most likely audience is going to be that is going to most likely react to your videos positively. But the less videos you've posted so far, the less information it has, the less likely those first 3 to 5 people are tack sharp your perfect audience. Therefore, you will get a bunch of videos get stuck at 3 to 5 views. Now, funny enough, you have to get over that once you're about a month or 2 in, meaning you've posted about 30 to 60 pieces of content. You can post those initial videos that got stuck in 5 to 10 views. Again, you just repost them the exact same way they are. You do not need to archive your old post. You just repost that exact same post, and all of a sudden it doesn't get stuck at 3 to 5 views anymore. All of a sudden it gets a couple hundred or even a couple thousand views already. Why? Because the algorithm now knows your audience better and plays that video out to a better audience that is a better fit, and it plays it out to a bigger test audience. So if within these 30 to 60 days you've had a couple breakout videos that have gotten a couple hundred or even a couple thousand views, the algorithm now treats you with more respect, so to say. It knows your content isn't that bad. So if you repost the same video that initially got only 5 views, the algorithm is like, we know you. Here's some more people that can watch your video. And all of a sudden, it takes off much more easily. I've had videos where I put a lot of effort into one of our newer accounts, but they only got 5 views. When I reposted them, they got 6,000, 7,000, 14,000 views. We will talk more about this later in the advanced section. Just know for now, that's what the algorithm does in the first couple videos. Number 4, if people watch longer, the system shows it to more people. It's very simple. If the first viewers watch a large portion of the video, the system, aka the algorithm, assumes people seem to like this. So it shows the video to a larger group of people. For many new accounts, that first bigger step up usually leads to something like 50 to 300 views. And again, it's funny. If you have a new account, you will see exactly those views. 3 to 5, 50 to 300. It will always be in between these views. If people in that larger group also watch for a long time and or engage, the video may spread further to thousands of viewers. Right? So you can see it's kind of like an onion. It plays it out to a small audience. If those folks watch and engage, it plays it out to a bigger audience, right? That's the next layer of the onion. If those people watch and engage, it plays out to a bigger audience. And it keeps doing that until that audience isn't interested anymore. And then maybe your video caps at 1,000 views. Maybe it caps at 10 million. It will cap eventually. I've seen some videos have over 100 million views. But it will cap out eventually. Because at some point, that onion, the people in that broader audience don't react to it as well anymore. That's also why we're focusing on core casual and new audiences, right? Same onion analogy there, so to speak. Now, the algorithm's main goal is very simple. Keep people watching videos for as long as possible. So it promotes videos that hold people's attention, make people watch until the end, make people stay longer on the platform. Pretty straightforward. Each video is judged separately, by the way. This is one very important point. The system mainly judges each video on its own, especially at the beginning. That means one video can get almost no views. Another video can get, on the same account, can suddenly get thousands of views. This is completely normal when an account is new. That's why we repost videos after 30 and 60 days, and that's why we obviously want to have a lot of volume when we start posting, and we want to make videos as good as possible at first. New accounts often show very uneven results, completely normal, because the algorithm is still learning about the account. Early results can look very random. For example, the same account might see 3 videos on one video, 40 on another, 200, and then 1,000 videos on another. This is called volatility. And it simply means the system is still figuring out who enjoys the content. This is also why we will tell you to double down on early outlier videos that perform better than others, so you give the algorithm more of what it thinks people want to see. More about this later. Over time, the algorithm learns about your account. That's what I mentioned earlier. After many videos, the algorithm begins to understand what the account talks about, which viewers like the content, how well people usually watch the videos, etc., and how well they engage. Once the algorithm learns this, it becomes easier for new videos from your account to reach the right audience. What actually makes videos spread is the following. The most important factor is very simple: how long people keep watching. Videos spread when viewers stay interested, watch most of the video, aka average watch time 100%, sometimes even watch it again, aka average watch time above 100%. When that happens, the system keeps showing the video to a larger and larger audience, kind of like the onion analogy I just mentioned. That is how the algorithm works at its core. Now you understand the algorithm basics, and I'm pretty sure you just learned something new. If you did, by the way, I'm going to host this on training on the YouTube, on my YouTube channel. It's a small YouTube channel. Comment below if you learned something new so far. Like, we're like, what, an hour in or something? Let me know. I'd love to hear your comments. Thank you so much. Now, moving on to how to get more views, shares, and comments. Let's remember what we talked about in the algorithm basics part of this video. The algorithm loves it when you have videos that get above 100% average watch rate, get a lot of comments, aka engagement, get a lot of shares, because it means more views. So, of course, I couldn't resist sharing a couple of fancy schmancy tricks that will help you with that, at least a bit. This training is more focused on the strategic part, which can make you stand out on a strategic level. However, there's a couple tips and tricks I'm also going to sprinkle in here. Now, key, if you're just like, I used one of these things, Max, it's not working. Oh, I actually even mentioned it here. There's a reason why tactics alone don't work, okay? Important note. These are tactics, but they cannot replace the fundamentals of good topics, good positioning, and all the good stuff we've learned in the viral video checklist so far, and the good stuff we continue to learn here later in this training. So don't come to me with, Max, I used one hack, but it didn't frickin' work, okay? These things are extras you can sprinkle on top, but they're not the core thing on how to go viral. To get more views, make good videos. Sorry, I know you're hating me for this right now. Just make freaking good videos. That's it, okay? But hey, check the viral video checklist that we just talked about. That's all you really need to achieve that. To get more comments, use comment baits. You want to wear something weird. A good friend of mine, he basically said something really interesting. You can write this down as like a bumper sticker. If you're an attractive female, the more attractive you are, the more views you get. For men, it's actually the opposite. The uglier and weirder you are, the better it is. I have a friend of mine. He's very successful. I think he got like 200,000 Instagram followers. Good audience too. And he's just like, bro, I'm making myself look ugly on purpose. Like, I put on a shitty hat, douchey sunglasses. I try to be unshaved because it keeps people watching longer. It's really funny. I've also had a mentor of mine. I paid him $100,000 for one-on-one coaching. By the way, like at that level, paying $100,000 for a couple phone calls is completely normal. One of the questions I asked him, I'm like, because that was 2.5 years ago, and we had trouble converting at a specific audience, and I'm like, maybe it's my tattoos. You know, I got finger tattoos. Maybe that hurts my conversion. And he's like, no. That's good for your conversion. And I'm like, why do my crazy tattoos are good for my conversion? He's like, bro, if I watch a video of yours, you pop up on my screen, I'm going to stare at your tattoos. I'm like, what is this guy? Why does he have all these crazy tattoos? And because people stare, it gives you an extra couple seconds of their attention, so they are more likely to be hooked to what you're saying. And I'm like, that is totally makes sense. So, side note, wear something weird if you can. If you're a guy, look ugly if you can. If you're a woman, you're beautiful the way you are, because it makes people comment, right? That's all you need to know. Have something weird happen in the background. We had a video that I shot in the gym, and we actually edited in the audio. It wasn't actual real audio. It was fake audio of someone screaming at deadlifting while they're doing deadlifting. You know, like that. We edited in as the audio, and people commented. They were like, did anybody else hear this guy used to grunt in the background? Comment bait. Back then, when this whole Will Smith slap at the Oscars thing happened, we added a little Will Smith, like we edited it in, like his head in the background somewhere, and then people would comment, did anybody see Will Smith in the background, like pop up for a second? What the hell? Like these small things, again, especially if your account is new, a single comment can be the differentiating factor between your video getting stuck at 50 views and your video getting a couple thousand views. It's pretty damn amazing. Hold something weird or interesting into the camera, right? We've done this before where I said like hold a Rolex into the camera. Or a prop, you get the gist. That's things that make people comment, apart from just having a contrarian opinion, of course. You can also do ManyChat CTAs, giving away something for free. You know, comment keyword below to get my free XYZ. I'm sure you've seen it. That's probably why you're here with the manifesto, for example. If you're a high-ticket client of ours, see the freebie Masters class. You have access to the freebie Masters class. I think I'm also giving the freebie masterclass, at least a light version of that, away for free. Again, you can message me on Max Tornow Instagram with the keyword freebie, I think, and it will automatically trigger. Let me just check real quick. Yes, exactly. Freebie. You just comment freebie or you DM me the word freebie, and it will automatically send you the freebie masterclass as well, entirely for free. I'm just giving it all away here today. If you cannot find my account, most likely you're coming from my account. It is this, Max Tornow. I'm probably changing my username handle at some point, so it could be that it's slightly different, but you'll find it. Like, it's basically this. It's blue check mark. That's always my account. So by the time of the recording, it might be slightly different handle. Good. Contrarian takes, obviously, like I said, that's also going to be very helpful. See the more advanced version later on. It's actually called the viral proficiency. Viral proficiency part 2, which we're going to get in this training in a couple minutes. Not in a couple minutes, in a while. We go deep. All right. To get more shares, I call this the 5 pillars of shareability. Just psychologically speaking, what makes people share your content? Let me make this a little bit bigger here. What makes people share your content? It's pretty straightforward. Number 1, high educational value, meaning a video is shareable when it is extremely valuable. No shit. People share it because it makes them look smart or ahead of the curve or self-aware, to the person that they're sending it to. So you've probably shared some of my content because it's very valuable. However, what can also work is relatability. Videos get shared when they reflect a thought or a behavior people instantly recognize. This is where reactions like, this is so me, or hey, this is so us, or this is literally my friend or partner come from. My fiance and I, we're sending each other like relatable things all the time. Let me show you. So this here is, for example, a great video that my sent me, or I sent her, because she loves cats. Right? And I'm like, oh, that's so you, because you love cats and you love the cat playing video. Like, it's a relatable thing, right? I hope that makes sense. Identity slash ideology sharing. People share content that aligns with their ideology, whether it's an identity about their favorite sports, hobbies, music, or etc., or their political, social, financial, etc. leaning. I'm not going to get political here. I'm going to give you a music example. So I have my friends. We all love heavy metal. So I would send them funny heavy metal memes. Like, this is me when the breakdown drops. And then there's like a cat like this. I'm like, that's so us. Oh my God, that's our ideology. So I would send that to other people. Same goes with agreement and disagreement, by the way. So strong agreement drives shares, but also strong disagreement drives shares as well, which is interesting. Because people share your content because even if they disagree with you, because they're like, look how wrong this ideology is. Look how stupid this guy is. So again, not being afraid to piss people off definitely is helpful. And then last but not least, social currency. That's kind of like an all-encompassing metaphor here, so to speak, concept. Sharing gives status. Being early, being right, or being contrarian makes the sharer look informed and confident, which is why people share it. So these are the things you can tap into with your content to get more people to share your stuff. So it's pretty straightforward, right? Also, let me make this a little bit bigger here. We've talked about how to get more comments, how to get more views, and how to make sure that more and more people share your stuff. That being said, let's move on. I'm going to make this here 14 as well because the OCD is strong in me today. Why can't I just be my authentic self? This is a very interesting point that a lot of folks come up with when they're at this stage where we're like, you got to have the hooks, you got to focus on a casual and new audience. Maybe you're feeling this resistance within you too. You're like, oh, this sucks. Why can't I just turn on my videos and just talk about what I want? Well, sorry, but that's not how it works. In fact, I had a client the other day on one of my live calls, and I'm just going to show you this real quick as well. It's just a couple seconds to really hammer in that point. All right, so this is an excerpt from our training. There's a lot of maxes in a bubble here, so have a listen to this.
Quick lesson. I love you for executing, and I will see you there.
What's holding me back is that following the templates and the formats feels like...
He's a coach for, how would you call it, spirituality, helping high performers kind of tap into their inner self, become more stress resilient. You can kind of see this with, his appearance, so to speak. He's very much, kind of like tapping to like the Charmin type of vibe, so to speak.
disingenuous.
Mm-hmm.
And my kind of thesis is like I want to show as much authenticity as possible. So that's just kind of like what's blocking me right now.
Yeah, yes and no. I hear you. You definitely don't want to restrict your creativity. But if I would hold a camera in your face now and I say, Harmon, when it comes to feeling more fulfilled on the inside, what do you think about meditation 1 to 10? Go.
10 out of 10.
Got it. What about alcohol once a week?
1 out of 10.
Why?
It can help lower your inhibitions and break through your paradigms, but it's ultimately super unhealthy, so I don't recommend it.
Cool, got it. What about going to concerts?
7 out of 10, depends on what mindset you go there with.
Cool. What about having hobbies like painting?
8 out of 10, 9 out of 10.
Cool. Okay, let's pause there. Was this inauthentic to you?
No, not at all.
See, it's still a format that is proven to work, but the way you answer is pure you. It's all you, Harmon. The rating, the justification why you rate it's all you. And that's how I think about the formats. Because I'm not copying someone that used that format one-on-one, and I just like a parrot, like copy what they said. I'm like, I use the format, and I'm like, well, what would I rate this? Or what sort of concepts would I want to talk about? Therefore, it's still absolutely me.
So you can see here the base of what I'm saying here is you can be your authentic self, but we're packaging it away so it reaches a lot of people. That's, I think, the key point. When you're going on a first date or you're going to your kids, when you're going to school and all the parents are invited, you can be smart and intelligent and can be really a great person on the inside, but you're probably going to try to look as good as possible and professional because you want to come across as someone that is being taken seriously. If you've ever put on makeup or you did your hair or, you were adhering to a certain dress code when you go to a business conference, that's probably not your authentic self either. You're not wearing makeup and a suit when you're going to sleep, but you're adhering to that standard because you want people to take you seriously. And that's exactly the same with content. You could absolutely be your authentic self, but package it in a way that is proven to work. So I wanted to touch on that. And by the way, then this client got, I'm not sure if he got 1 million views, but he got a couple 100,000 views on his brand on TikTok, where he teaches people how to become more, one with their inner self, specifically focused on entrepreneurs. And I love that because I gave someone that is very intelligent in his own way the tools to express that in a way that it works on social media. And that's why you can absolutely be your authentic self. So I just wanted to touch on that. Phew, all right. I don't know how far we've come so far in terms of hours, but we're almost through with the viral foundations. After this, we're going to go very, very deep on the viral proficiency. There's a few more concepts that I want to show you here, though, that are going to be absolutely tremendous with helping you with more videos. So check this out. How to create a lot of content fast and easy. I'm currently, at the time of this recording, blasting out 6 videos per day. Now, there is one aspect to it because we're clipping a lot of the videos from longer form content, but even without that, I would knock out 6 videos per day, and I sometimes do whenever we don't have any clipping videos ready. How can I do that much volume? 6 times 7 is 42. I had to pause here if my math's correct. And per week, times 4, that is 168 videos per month. That's a lot of content. How the hell do I do that? While running a multi-7-figure, soon to be 8-figure business. Probably this year we're going to hit 8 figures. While my fiance is pregnant and I'm cooking for her, making her food and taking care of her, while I'm doing all these things, well, I get to do this. Check it out. Generally speaking, I recommend you do everything in batches. Probably not super new, but key to emphasize here at this point. For hard-ticket clients, you review the content ideas that we prepare for you in batches and give feedback. You write out your scripts in batches, or you use our AI to help you write out these scripts in batches. You prepare all your videos in batches. You film, you source clips in batches. Also, if you're a high-ticket client of ours, you have access to our AI that also edits your videos. So you do everything in batches. We're doing this because when you're starting with your content journey from scratch, we need higher volume of videos to warm up the algorithm and gather data and what type of video performs best. If you're posting 1 video per day, great. If you're posting 3 per day, you gather that data faster, both in terms of the algorithm, as well as you giving yourself the chance to go viral 3x, because you have 3 more videos. To like you're shooting at the goal, so to speak. So the more you shoot at the goal, the more likelihood that it eventually will get in. And last but not least, you're also showing the algorithm more. You're giving the algorithm more and more information about what works. Now, that does not mean, and this is very key, please pay attention. That does not mean you just spam create a bunch of videos, low effort, putting zero thought in. That's gambling. It could still work. Like I've seen people say, I've literally seen creators just post 100 videos within 24 hours and one of them went viral. Good for them. I don't like that idea because you're probably busy. You got a business to run. You got a family to take care of, or you got a business that you're starting. You probably don't have the time to make 100 videos in 24 hours. So do them well, but do a lot of them and make different variations. We will talk more about this later when it comes to building blocks. It's a very great concept. It will help you tremendously with that, where you have a single video idea and you make like 10, 12 different versions of it. I'll show you exactly. And I'm not talking about trial reels. I'm talking about building blocks. It's a great concept. It's one of the few concepts that I definitely recommend you, but we'll get there in a second. In a while, but we'll get there. Anyways, you want to get a lot of volume out. That's the basic gist of this. What's a good batch size to start with? Start with batches of 5 videos. Later, you can expand batch sizes to 10 or 20 videos at a time. If you're starting, I don't recommend bigger batches than 5 because some people, they make 50 videos, but they all suck because they made them all in a day. And now you have 50 videos to post, but they all suck. So I would rather have you make 5 videos, get a little bit of feedback. If you're one-on-one coach of ours, we'll help you with that anyway, so your videos are more on point, much faster. If you're doing this by yourself, make 5 videos, post them, see how people respond. Oh, they're not getting any views. Okay, well, let me make sure that I look at better hooks. So you make better hooks for the next 5 batches, and so on and so forth. We will talk more about analysis and looking at the numbers later on in this training, because that will be very, very helpful in regards to how you need to improve. Whenever we need faster feedback loops, we can decrease the batch size down to 5 again. So even when you're at 20 batch size, right now I'm creating so many videos at the same time, I might decrease it down to smaller batch sizes. More on filming, editing, and posting in our awesome How to Film and Edit Post module. That's for high-ticket clients. Unfortunately, this is, by the time of the recording, not something I'm giving away for free. But maybe I will, because it's really awesome. Weekly review sessions light. Later on, we're going to go into more details on the weekly review sessions, but a light version of that is the following. And we're still in the viral foundations module, which is why I'm keeping things light. Pick one day of the week where you spend 30 minutes looking at your content. For me, it's Monday. It could be any day of the week. You just look at the last 7 days of content. You want to spot outliers, aka videos that have got minimum 3 times the amount of views than your baseline. If you're just starting out, you probably got a couple hundred views. If you're more experienced, you already got a couple thousand views. There's going to be 1 or 2 videos that have gotten 3 times that. Specifically, aim at creating similar videos to your outliers when you're creating your next batch of videos. For example, same topic, but different hook. Same hook, but different topic. Same hook, but different format. Same format, different topic, and so on and so forth. You get the gist. More on that later in this training when we're talking about the the building blocks principle. And again, you can also check out down below where we have in the progress bar, you can see the different parts of this video where you can skip forward to that. But I recommend you don't. I recommend you go through it until you get there. Or you just completely recreate the exact same video again. I'm not talking about reposting yet. I'm talking about just recreating it. Just shoot it with the same script again, wear something different, totally fine. For high-ticket clients, send your insights to your one-on-one coach. We will tell you exactly what to do. How my brand can help your brand. This is one small thing I wanted to add here. If you're enjoying this manifesto, comment down below on YouTube. That will help my brand. If you want to work with us one-on-one, if you want to have access to our awesome AI stack system that does all the ideation for you, that is trained on this training that I'm giving you, it does all the script writing for you. It helps you write your own scripts and grades them for you. It can give you feedback. Also what it does is really cool. You can chat with it. It includes an AI Max Viral Coach. You can ask it anything about this training and everything else we're teaching in our high-ticket stuff, and it will immediately give you the answer. It will give you the timestamps of it. It will show you exactly the video. So it's super easy for you to retain knowledge without having to watch the entire thing again. It's really awesome. If you want to have access to this, work with us one-on-one. This is only accessible for our one-on-one high-ticket clients. You need to apply for this because we keep our quality very high. We're only, we can only take on so many clients. If you want to apply for that, link down in the description of this video as well. Anywho, main thing I wanted to say, if you find value in this manifesto and you want me to give you a shout out, which might get you a bunch of followers, bunch of engagement, tag my not the cat account here, 1 second. Then tag my account here, post it in your stories. Hey, watching your manifesto, loving it so far. Or hey, Max, you suck. Totally fine too. Tag me here. I'll repost you, which might get you a bunch of followers. A bunch of people will become aware that you exist, and maybe you even get some clients. So that is kind of like how my brand can help your brand. If you want me to give you a shout out, that's a great way to do that. And that is it. That is now chapter 1. We're going to go into chapter 2, viral proficiency. If you learned something new already, great. You're going to learn a ton more awesome stuff. Now, the goals for this stage are as follows. Strategic goals are basically metric analysis. We're going to go through the metrics in greater detail. We're also going to double down on outliers. That's the goal strategy-wise. We're adding to your content advanced branding aspects via contrarian ideology, and we're also adding credibility. We're going very, very deep on this stuff now. We're going to be working on systemization to make high-quality content production faster and easier. And of course, we're going to get you more haters. Yes, actually, they're a great sign that you're doing well. I want you to get more haters because it's fantastic. Mindset goals for you. The world enables 8 billion monopolies. You can build yours by focusing on being yourself and adding your own twist instead of just blindly copying others. If you're authentic, you'll have more fun, and it is easier to stay consistent. A lot easier, actually. Like, I can knock out 6 videos per day because I just freaking love it. The pain of growth, by the way, is normal. So right now, you probably learned a ton. Maybe you've experimented around a lot already, and you probably experience pain. Guess what? I experience pain every single day when I have a sick video and it doesn't perform as well as I hope. It's part of the game, all right? Especially if you're a business owner. You know this. Nothing worth pursuing is going to come easy in life. Read that again. The sooner you accept that, the less resistance you feel when creating. It's going to be hard. You knew it was going to be hard when you started. This is what hard feels like. This is it. All right? Be aware of that. Nothing happens until everything happens. Make sure you don't give up before everything happens. A lot of times, you got to just grind it out, get very low views until you hit an outlier, and then you can double down on that. Sometimes you grow linearly, which might also not be fast enough for you. Nothing happens till everything happens. Don't give up before everything happens. That's as easy as that. You can't force something to go viral. You can optimize and increase your chances drastically, though. Chasing empty trends or aesthetic filler for views is a losing move. Don't do that. Those people aren't here for you. They won't stick. They will never buy. So again, focus on all the things you're going to learn right now because they help you get actual fans and then eventually clients. Be patient. It took me 4 years to make my first million with my first business. It took me 2 months to make my first million with my second business. And it took me another year to make my first million with my third business. It's currently taking me 1 month on average to make another million on top. I showed you proof of this earlier in the very beginning of this video when I showed you the high-row screenshot. So you can see the speed frickin' varies. And that is fine. You got to be patient and you got to enjoy the frickin' process. The speed by which results came varied for me, but one thing always remained constant. I enjoyed the damn process. I felt entitled to the experience, not the outcome. I was grateful for every level I was at, and I truly, wholeheartedly gonna die on that fucking hill. You need to enjoy where you're at right now. You deserve to be where you are right now, as much as it hurts saying, but the earlier you accept that, the better, because then you can move on, and then eventually you will deserve to be somewhere much better, and you'll get there too, but you gotta stick to it. All right. Enough philosophy. Let's talk about the truth about making money from going viral. Now we're going to go strategic again. Look, not all views are created equal. You're here because you don't just want to get random views, but actually build a following of fans and clients, right? Probably yes. After generating over 32 million actually now, boom, from social media, here's an ultra quick crash course on money making from virality that nobody teaches. And trust me, I've checked. I'm checking a lot of things. I know what's being taught out there because I'm learning as well. But at the same time, this is not being taught anywhere. Anyways, context matters. Number one, what niche are you in? For example, getting 5,000 views in a very specific small niche, think horse photographer coaching, is very valuable. In fact, we had a client in the horse photography coaching niche. Now, again, He's not a photographer. He's not a horse photographer. He's not a photography coach. He's a coach for photographers who photograph horses. That is very freaking niche. So getting 5,000 views there is very, very amazing. There's probably a bunch of high-ticket clients you can get from that, and low-ticket if you would sell a low-ticket digital product then. However, on the other hand, getting 500,000 views in a very broad niche, think fitness for men, it's still great, but it's less valuable overall. Also, the context of your usual views matter. For a small account with less than 1,000 followers, getting 5,000 views is fantastic. That's a huge outlier, right? Now, for a bigger account with 20,000 followers, getting 20,000 views, still great, but less valuable overall. Also, the context of your content matters. Going viral with a cute cat on the skateboard type of content is less valuable. Empty views, very few followers coming from it, is much less valuable than going viral with a video that shows you talking, right? About your story, about your method, about tactical advice. Higher percentage of ideal client per view ratio. I see this with me too. When I post about something more personal development, something more that is more humanly relatable, so to speak, it gets much more views, but less saves, less followers. If I post something highly tactical, it might get less views, but I get much more followers from that and therefore clients. So you want to mix that up. I like the ratio of about a third of my content being top of funnel. This is not officially taught in this training here, but I'm going to touch on this. We call it TOFU, top of funnel content. Especially if I'm new, I want to ramp that up to like 90% of my content should be top of funnel. Right now at my stage, because I'm growing very, very nicely, I do about 30% top of funnel. I do 30% middle of funnel. This is for people to relate to my story. This is not going to get a lot of views, but it's going to warm those people up that watch my stuff. And then another 30%, well, 33% to be precise, would be promotional story, the bottom of the funnel content. This is stuff where I'm literally promoting stuff either for free or my paid stuff. Now, again, if you're new, you want to do 99 or 90% top of funnel content just to build up that following. And then at some point, you want to ramp up middle of funnel and top and bottom of funnel. But you know what? I might make an extra manifesto of that. I'm going to call it the monetization manifesto. Stay tuned for that. If you want to know more, if you want to stay tuned for when that drops, just subscribe to this YouTube channel here because it will probably drop on this very YouTube channel. But I digress. Let's talk more about getting views and making money from it. Yep, we've had this content, blah, blah. Oh, and also what matters is going viral once versus raising the baseline. There's two ways of growing on social media: exponential growth, kind of what we talked about before, and linear growth. Both are absolutely viable and both have advantages and disadvantages. The advantages of linear growth is it's kind of a little bit more foreseeable. If you have a high ticket offer, for example, linear growth will be much better because it's easier for you to predict how many calendar slots you need to have open for your sales calls, how many staff, closers, and setters you're going to need. If you then accidentally go viral and all of a sudden you got a quadruple the leads amount, your team might not be able to handle all of that, right? So that's why I like the linear growth better. But again, you take what you get. Like if you're not going to complain when you go viral and all of a sudden you got 50,000 followers overnight. You're not going to complain. I'm just saying there's advantages and disadvantages. That's basically all I'm saying. Anyways, let's look at the metrics masterclass. So I'm assuming at this point you're probably posting once per day, which means at least 7 times a week. Ideally more. You want to set aside around 30 minutes a week to check your last week's performance. We've talked about this before when we talked about looking at metrics light. And by the way, let me make this bigger here. I want everything to be in 14. I don't know why I didn't add that. There we go. Looks so much nicer. All right. Assuming you're posting frequently content, you want to do this at least once a week. Best tool to use is Instagram's native edits app. You can find it in your app store or in your Android app store thingy. It works for both Android and iPhone. It has this icon here. When you have that, you want to log in with your Instagram account, and then you click on Insights at the bottom right, and then tap Latest at the bottom left, or tap 30 days at the bottom right, and then change it to 7 days. You can at the top right, you can see that here. Oh, 30 days, top right actually. Hold on. Top right, there we go. So the top right here where it says 30 days, you want to change this to 7 days because you want to look at the last 7 days. And then it shows you the total real views, accounts, etc., etc. And it's really cool because you can then also in here, you can categorize it by most views, most likes, most followers gained from that. And you can look at all kinds of different metrics, which is very interesting because you will see, for example, sometimes the most viewed video is not the one that gets you the most followers and vice versa. So you can look and play around with these metrics. I do this every 7 days because I want to be aware of what's working right now, and I want to be aware of what I can double down on to give my audience and the algorithm more of what they want so I get more and more views. Kind of makes sense. Pretty logical, right? And you want to start by conducting a simple views analysis. Simple views analysis. Which content underperformed, meaning below your average view counts, and which content overperformed, meaning above average view counts. Which content is an outlier, meaning 3x and above the average view count. It's pretty straightforward. Then you want to dive deeper. So after you've looked at the views, you know what's getting the most views. Now you want to dive deeper because views is not the only thing. As you remember, we also talk about getting fans, getting followers, and eventually getting clients. So you want to dive deeper on the other things as well. The 3 most important metrics to look at are average watch time. We've said it ad nauseum now at this point. Low means your hooks aren't interesting, meaning you need to get your average watch time higher. Most common problem is going to be the hooks, right? Fix this. 90% of your content problems will be fixed too. 2, real views, meaning followers versus non-followers. The higher the non-followers percentage, the better it is for growth. You will see a graph. It's a circular graph, and you'll see one color. I think it's red, and the other one is blue/purplish. And the blue one of them at least is the non-followers, and the other one is the followers ratio. You want to look at that too. So what I talked about earlier with top of funnel, middle of funnel, bottom of funnel, your top of funnel stuff, meaning it's targeted at a casual and new audience, is probably going to get a much higher percentage of non-followers to watch your stuff than followers. If you want to grow your following, that is what you want to double down on. If you say, Max, I got a ton of following lately because some of my stuff went viral, and I want to make sure that I warm these people up. Now you want to create content that is more generating views from your existing followers, and you want to double down on that. So when you look at the metrics of real views, followers versus non-followers, you want to double down on the content that got you more of the follower views. So it always depends on where you are right now on your content journey. Then identify the outlier in regards to that metric and then double down on that. The third important key metric you want to look at is retention graphs. Okay, I've just summarized the retention graph here. It will look exactly like this. You can see that drop off here in the beginning. That is a bad hook because it means people don't watch your stuff, and then it kind of flattens out. If you have a good hook, it will look like this. There's a flatter curve here. It doesn't fall down that quickly. It will always fall down a little bit. That's just the nature of the game. But you can see here it flattens very quickly instead of just going down very quickly. A bad body means your hook itself is great, but then, the rest of the video just gets really boring and the viewership goes down. There's one part that is bad. Looks like this. There's specifically one part where it drops very quickly. I would watch that exact part of the video again. You can see exactly what second of the video it is. Then you pull it up on Instagram, and then you can see, oh, when I said this, maybe it was because I repeated myself, or there was a boring part in the video. That's exactly where people drop off. That is a great sign for you to redo that video if it otherwise would have worked well, and just cut that part out. And now you'll have a video that performs much better, which is pretty damn amazing. A bad CTA, which means you have too drawn out CTA. The rest of the video performed super well. This is an overall bad video, meaning it was just terrible from the get-go. Don't do that. And this is, like I said, an excellent video. If you look at viral videos, they will all look very... Oops. Hold on. What's going on? If you look at viral videos, they will... I'm mad now. If you look at viral videos, there we go. They will all look more or less like this, right? That is how they understand graphs. We can go much, much deeper on this, but this is the essential gist, like 20% that gets you 80% of results. You also want to look at share rate. Make sure your content is more shareable. Again here, look at every single video and compare the videos that got high views but low share rate with the videos that got low views but high share rate, and see if you can combine that. So what I would do is I would look at an outlier for views, and then I would look at the outlier for shares, and if that share video has a relatively high share rate but low view rate, I'm like, what can I learn from the high view rate video? Maybe I can extrapolate the hook or the format onto the high share video, so I get a video that gets high views and high shares, which might be your first viral outlier with over a million views. So you can see how much amazing insight Instagram gives you in its native edits app. Strongly recommend you nerd out on that for 30 minutes a day every week. Comment rate, same spiel here, below average. If you have below average comment rate, add more CTAs or freebies, or add another freebie if you already have CTAs but aren't getting enough comments, so you rotate the freebies. This is a great and easy way to get more comments. If you want to know more about getting more comments, scroll back up to the part before where I talk about how to get more views, shares, and comments. By the way, when you download the document, which I recommend you do, link is in the description, you can go to the tab here on the side and it shows you all the chapters and the sub-chapters, sub-points. It's really awesome. It really made it really nice. I'm half German, half Austrian. We love structure. I made it like very, very awesome so you can skip around between these. And again, you can also use the progress bar on this YouTube video to see where exactly each and every point is being talked about. That being said, based on that info, you want to decide on the next steps to take for next week's content pieces. You want to double down on outlier topics, same topic but different format, hook or angle. You want to double down on outlier formats, same format but different topic, hook or angle. Double down on video / script angle, same angle but different format, hook or topic. See the content blocks principle that we will talk about later down in this viral proficiency chapter. If you're a high-ticket client of ours, send those screenshots to your one-on-one coach and we'll happily help you with the analysis or corresponding next steps. Feel free to also hop on a one-on-one call with them. Every client of ours has their own one-on-one coach. They can hop on as many one-on-one calls as they want as long as they execute. So, if you're coming to us like, I've been on vacation for 3 weeks, I demand my one-on-one call, probably not going to happen. Although maybe if you have availability. But if you're executing and you come well prepared, you can always hop on one-on-one calls as many as you want with us. They're unlimited. Anyway, so we can look at that in the one-on-one calls too. We also have calls with me every single week. We can look at that too. You got no outliers? No worries. Test more, experiment more. Don't worry, not all weeks have outliers or content that performs above baseline. Sometimes you even have a terrible week. If that happens too, let us know. We'll be happy to help you. Mindset, don't get discouraged. Set your goal for the following week to literally just focus on having fun and experiment around. Remember that this is a long-term game. If you have fun, you're much more likely to stick to it. Main important point here. Let's talk about branding, Superhack, Contrarian ideology. That's, I would say, one of my all-time favorite parts of this, because we're now going super duper deep on how to stand out in a crowded niche, on how to stand out to your audience and immediately become a household name that doesn't just get views, but also turns heads, gets followers, and eventually also clients. Let's go. It all starts with the Contrarian ideology. Remember how in the beginner section, well, they call it the viral foundation section, we talked about defining your personality, right? Regardless of whether you're doing faces or personal brands. Something that greatly amplifies that is adding your so-called contrarian ideology. Max, you fancy names for stuff, I know. This is an ultra-powerful way to stand out from a very crowded niche. If you want to become a household name, you want to grow fast and get a ton of views on even the simplest videos, then having a contrarian ideology is the way to go, and there's no way around that. The contrarian ideology is split into two parts, the contrarian beliefs and the contrarian visuals. Hold up, Max. How contrarian should I be? It's an excellent question. The answer is it depends on how crowded your niche is. For example, if you're one of the first creators to make content in your niche, you don't need to be very contrarian to stand out because your niche is already special enough. We have a client, for example, she's in the niche that is cross-cultural communication for Europeans moving to the US. It's pretty niche. Like, how many influencers and creators do you know in that niche? Probably none. So she can make super simple, straightforward videos. She doesn't need to go as crazy on the formats. A lot of the stuff is just talking head videos that we're making with her, and she's going ballistic. She's getting hundreds of thousands of views. We literally just started monetization. Today is Tuesday. We started monetization on the weekend. She made a single post and made her first $400 for her low-ticket offer. If you're a high-ticket coach, that's nothing. But for her, who's never sold anything in her life before, we literally helped her make a low-ticket course that's now selling on passive income. Single post, $400. Like, if you make $400 a day from a single post, it stacks up. It's pretty nice. And what we're doing with her now is we're teaching her how to sell from these low-ticket clients, upsell them to her high-ticket stuff. I actually believe, and this is not me marketing, now please don't misunderstand this, like, oh, Max is promoting his stuff. This is just wholeheartedly what's possible. I actually believe within the next 2 weeks we can get her to her first $10,000 a month. I wholeheartedly believe that. Very easy to do. If she's decent at sales, if she's terrible at sales, it will take longer. That's fine. We can still make it happen. But that's how quickly it can go, especially if you are in a non-contested niche. You don't need to be as contrarian. But I digress. Make content in your niche. Oh, yeah. And then if you're in a very crowded niche, for example, fitness, you cannot be the gazillionth fitness coach that talks about calorie deficits. There's, you absolutely need to stand out by a contrarian ideology here. So See it kind of like as a spectrum. The more crowded your niche is, the more contrarian you need to be. Makes sense, right? Excellent. Let's start with your contrarian beliefs. And we've touched on these before. Now we're going to go deep. Contrarian beliefs is a super easy way to identify those. A super easy way to identify your contrarian beliefs is to fill out a table with all the usual things people believe in your niche and contrast them with how you see those beliefs differently. For example, here's some of mine. Again, I'm using my example because you know me, so you can kind of now gauge what the thought process is behind that. On the left side, we have what my audience is told, and on the right side, I have what I believe to be better. Do this exercise yourself. Take a piece of paper, notepad on your iPhone, I don't care. Just 2 columns. One with what your audience is told, one with what you believe is better. Followers are important. Everybody talks about this, right? I actually say creators who want to make money from social media should optimize for impact, over follower count. I shouldn't keep drinking Pellegrino sparkling water. Ultimately, you want fans and buyers, not just empty followers. Also, what my audience is told is it's all about the views. I say, well, views are a poor man's metric. Not all views are created equal. Focus on getting the right kind of views that fit to your niche and offer. So if I would make videos about that, which by the way I am, that say your views don't matter, what matters is this, and I made over $32 million from social media, I have clarity. Well, maybe I would say, hey, if you're a business owner and you want to get a lot of views, so then I would have clarity, I'd have intrigue, and maybe if I have a specific facial expression or maybe hold something to the camera, I would have a lot of attention-grabbing visuals as well. And you can see here how a contrarian belief is so easy to get right in terms of standing out. It is crazy. That is why having a list of contrarian beliefs is so damn powerful. And I don't care if you're making faceless content or a personal brand. Your contrarian beliefs don't need a face to show for. The content itself is going to be so easy to be consumed because it's different. It's new. Right? Anyways, another example is offering group coaching is enough. A lot of people do that in the high-ticket coaching sphere. I say no, it's fucking not. We're doing everything one-on-one in all of our programs. Literally, any client of ours has their own one-on-one coach. Unless it's a low-ticket course offer that we're selling for like $17 or something like that, there's no one-on-one in there. But any high-ticket offer of ours, it's all one-on-one. While everybody else is trying to get higher profit margins via group coaching, yeah, it creates way higher workload for us, management complexity and cost, but it makes things infinitely easier for our clients. So we're standing out on that level too. It's like, it's not just the content. I'm trying to stand out on every single level. Your post not getting views means you failed. Well, creators should realize that fun is more important than views. This is a long-term game, and you can only stick to it long-term if you enjoy it. That's my contrarian take. What everyone's being told is also you need to post a lot of content. I say creators and business owners should post at a pace that they can stick to long-term. Sometimes it's fine to miss a day of posting. You have to document every moment in your life. Well, real life first, then online life. Duh, right? Copying trends will get you views. Well, creators and business owners may get you creators and biz owners may get views from copying trends. There we go. But those will be empty views. Instead, they should adapt trends to their own personality and niche. Copy your competitors' viral posts one-on-one. That's a lazy approach. It keeps you from learning, it keeps you from being unique, and it will very rarely outperform the original post that you're copying anyways. Instead, understand the principle behind any viral post, not just your competitors' viral posts, and adapt them to your personality. Even better, take viral posts from other niches and adapt them into your niche, because then you will be among the first people to adapt that format into your niche. And so on and so forth. You can pause if you want to read the rest. It's basically simple contrarian takes. Lay them out for you because they'll help you. Important note number 1. Notice how most of my contrarian takes directly address my audience. I say it a lot. I'm like creators and business owners. Some addressing my audience already. It's a little note to have. Important note number 2, there's a distinction to be made between being contrarian and being controversial. Very key. They sound very similar, but they're different. Contrarian means you actually have an opinion backed up by your own experience or facts. Controversial means you're just saying provocative shit for the sake of getting views. One will help you build a brand of fans and buyers. The other one will just get you a lot of empty views. I think you know which one it is, so be careful. Important note number 3, once you have finished this exercise, don't just stop there, but actually use each and every contrarian belief of yours for topic ideas and hooks. I've seen people who make these contrarian beliefs, great exercise, and then they don't implement it. They just make random content. No. Use this. It's great for you to already work on your first content ideas. This is very much the type of content that will get you blow up in your first couple videos already, because it's a little bit provocative. It's contrarian. It will make you stand out. So pro tip there. Now let's talk about contrarian visuals. Just like we're aiming to stand out with what we're talking about, we also want to stand out with what we or our videos look like. The goal here is to disrupt viewer expectations from the moment they see one of our videos. Same spiel here. Let's use a simple table to contrast what's usually seen in your niche with what your videos look like. So on the left side, what my audience sees. On the right side, what my content will look like. So for example, everybody's visuals, like all my competitors, they usually have a studio, kind of dark lighting, they're boring at home, all their environments are very controlled because they have no charisma and they're trying to compensate for it. My visuals are, number one, I have my awards in the background, which is great for proof. I shoot a lot of videos in public. I have a yap format that could surprise people perfectly, especially when it's in public. I have nice locations that I'm filming in. You know, I'm wearing glasses, I'm smoking a cigar, I'm in a jacuzzi, stuff like that. Makes me immediately stand out on a visual level. My buddy Owen Cook, shout out to him, he gives dating advice. And I'm going to show you real quick. Hold on. Just look at visually how his videos look. So if you think of a regular dating coach, it's probably a young, good-looking white guy, well-groomed. And now here you have him. He looks like Santa Claus. Right? It's like, who the fuck is this guy? And he's just rambling into the camera. Well, guess what? It makes him immediately stand out on a visual level already, which is why this is so genius. Oops, this whole concept behind contrarian visuals, okay? Everybody's clothing, very casual. I'm trying to look business. I'm looking sharp. I'm wearing turtlenecks or polo shirts. There's always at least a collar or a turtleneck in my videos because I'm standing out visually from my niche. Everybody's editing is usually simple, fast cuts because they can't speak publicly. My editing is usually value stacking with extra info and docs on screen. You will learn more about this in the viral mastery chapter. Longer talks, not as many quick cuts. I mean, I have quick cuts, but not all the time. Everybody's usually flexing. I'm flexing a little bit. My flexing is lifestyle, and I'm living a minimalist lifestyle despite making more money than them. In fact, one of my most viral videos of the last 2 weeks was me making fun of these like influencers that are in first class flexing their caviar, and I'm eating Ben & Jerry's in my claustrophobic office, still making more money than them, which is pretty interesting. So you can see I'm standing out on every single level. Everybody's social visuals, young, single dudes, bachelor lifestyle at parties, on the beach, etc. My social visuals, I'm about to become a dad. I'm a little older. I have a wonderful fiance, family life, down to earth. So you can see here how everything is curated. That's a very good way of thinking about everything I'm doing on my brand. So maybe you've been following my brand for a while and you're like, oh, it's all random and it's cool. And sure, there's a randomness element. For example, the Ben & Jerry's. I didn't plan that. I wasn't like, what ice cream can I eat to make stand out? No, I just like started talking about Ben & Jerry's because I literally eat it all the time. And then people were like, this is so funny. Like, Max, you eat Ben & Jerry's all the time. Like, people commented. They started replying to my stories. I'm like, okay, let's lean into that. So a lot of these things you just happen to stumble into, but you can also then create them. You can curate them knowingly what the actual processes are behind that. And some things you just curate from the get-go. You're thinking about it, you're planning it ahead of time, which is kind of what we're doing here. So both works as long as you're curating it and you know what you're doing. Now, signs that your contrarian ideology is working well. People comment. That's not bad. If people comment, they're like, oh, that's an interesting take, or maybe they're even hating on you, which is not a bad sign. People DM you about it is a very good sign. When people say, Max, I watched that video, or hey, your videos lately are so good, or so funny, or so educational. People in real life talking to you about it is a great sign. Like when you go into the gym and someone recognizes you, like, I watch your content, or like, you're on my feed all the time. Like, those are great. Like when people extrapolate that, like when it sifts through to the real life, that's amazing. And then the last stage, to really show that your contrarian ideology is working well, is when other creators make content about it. Holy moly, now we're talking. That is the highest echelon of knowing that you're doing well and you're really standing out with your content. Just FYI. Now, let's talk about how to turn views into followers and clients. So we're continuing our nitty-gritty stuff here. Let's go. The main driving factor that turns views, aka people who are curious about you, into followers, aka people who want to see more of your content, into fans, aka people who are convinced about you, and eventually into buyers, is, drumroll, trust. Trust that you're someone worth watching, believing, and buying from. The internet is full of fakes, full of scammers, full of wannabes. So here's how you can stand out. Here's how you can build that trust. It's called credibility, right? Which we can further split into your credibility bank and your credibility statements. Now, the credibility bank is pretty straightforward. Depending on your niche, this may be less or more applicable to you, but if you or your page is positioned as an expert, you're building a credibility bank, it's going to be absolutely key. So your credibility bank is basically a collection of all your proof that what you're talking about works. If I may divert your attention to what we talked about in the very, very beginning, this is kind of like a mini credibility bank. I'm like, here's a viral manifesto. Here's proof to show you that I'm not just making stuff up. Here's a bunch of clients of ours to get fantastic results. Here's screenshots. Like, imagine if there was no screenshots. It was just track 1 billion client views, 32 million revenue, total over 36,000 clients. I mean, it would look good, but me showing this, the actual screenshot proof, gives me massive amounts of credibility, and therefore it gives the thing that I'm talking about way more leverage, way more weight. You're like, okay, I want these results. Same goes for this. Same goes for this. I'm having freaking results. Check them out. And if you want these results as well, go pay attention. That's a good example of a mini credibility bank here. Where are we at? It's credibility bank. And there it is. How to use a credibility bank. There you go. Depending on your niche, this may or may not be as applicable to you, but it is a collection of proof that what you're talking about works. Start by gathering all your personal wins, your client wins, testimonials, reviews, etc. Gather it all into a Google Doc, gather it all into a Google G Drive folder or wherever it is. This could be screenshots of happy clients, before and after transformations, public reviews, videos, images, stories, anything that answers the question, why should people watch your stuff? All right. Put them all in a folder on your computer, phone, G Drive. You'll want them easily accessible and ideally categorized. We have them categorized. We have a whole testimonial sheet. I mean, at this point, I have a team that handles testimonials because we get so many. And they're all screenshotted. They're cataloged by results, by audience, meaning, is this like a woman that got these results or a man? Are they in their 30s, in their 40s, with low ticket offer, high ticket offer, physical products, etc. We have it all gathered. So for example, if I need to see a specific video or screenshot, like, hey, show me a female business owner in her 30s with a high ticket offer, I would just search it in our credibility bank and I immediately find it and I can pull it up. I can include it in my videos, etc. It's pretty neat. You don't have to go that far. Just start by gathering them all together. Okay, Max, I collected a bunch of proof. Now what? Well, frickin' post it, okay? Wove it into your video content. Post an extra proof carousel. Pin it to the top of your feed, for example. Let your creative juices flow. If you're a one-on-one client of ours, ask your one-on-one coach for strategic ways to post your proof. We're very happy to help you with that. Don't overdo it. That's why I say wove it into your video content. Don't just start posting 20 testimonial videos because they all get low views. You want to wove it into, and ideally you want to have one space where you have all or at least most of your credibility, whether that's a highlight. We're talking more about highlight sections in a second, or a reel compilation or a carousel. Have it all in one central place. Your credibility statements. There are tools used to answer the fundamental question most viewers are going to ask: why should anybody listen to you, right? So we're going to use these credibility statements to give them the proof that your stuff is worth watching. There's two types of credibility statements. Number one is a general credibility statement, meaning this is a broad overview of your long-term achievements and track record within your niche. For example, you probably saw mine many times before. I made over $31 million from social media. Well, it's actually 32 by the time of writing this. So it's funny, like over the time of me writing this manifesto, I made an extra million on top of that, which is braggy, but it's pretty cool. This will be your overarching go-to credibility statement that you should add, all right? Whenever you talk about your hero story, in your bio, see the set up your profile bio section that we talked about earlier, in your content pieces where it's applicable as part of the CIA framework. It's a great way to add intrigue, right? Like, hey, here's whatever, like, most content creators get this part wrong about hooks. I learned this from making over $32 million in social media. It's the so-called CIA framework. That's very high intrigue, very clear, very clarity, and it makes people watch. Actually, I should literally make a video that starts like that. So yeah, you hear me say this over and over again. If you follow mine, you can see this. This is a so-called credibility, general credibility statement. Now there's contextual credibility statements. This is a more targeted statement specific to the exact topic you're discussing in a piece of content. For example, if I was making a piece of content about scaling my sales team as part of my content business, I would use a contextual credibility statement along the lines of, I've scaled 3 multi-7-figure sales teams. Oops, there we go. My current team is over 25 full-time reps. This is a contextual credibility statement. Now, of course, both should be true. Like, don't make stuff up. We'll get to this in a second, I think, later on. But yeah, there we go. 2 important notes you're probably thinking right now. Number 1, well, Max, it's so easy to say. You have all this credibility. I don't have much to show for. What should I do? Well, definitely don't make it up, okay? It's an excellent point that you're wondering what you should do. The hard answer is get to work, gain more experience, get more clients. Hell, even if they're free clients, whatever helps you get credibility, get more proof, get more testimonials. That's just the way it is. The slightly easier answer is you can still absolutely make content. You just do not let any lack of perceived credibility keep you from putting yourself out there. That's kind of like the main thing, okay? Don't get discouraged. How does the saying go? You know, no matter how well you think you're doing in life, there's always an Asian kid somewhere doing 10 times better. So don't compare yourself too much to others. But most importantly, if you don't have a lot of experience, make your journey the message, right? Be transparent, be honest. Tell your audience that you're starting on this journey and that your goal is to become better. This transparency is authenticity, and that authenticity is still very, very rare and will actually help you stand out. So you got this. For example, instead of let me think of a good example here. I see these content pieces a lot. So, for example, one of the guys that I've started following is his whole shtick is like he became a father and he's skinny and not muscular and he wants to become a dad that can protect his family. So instead of him saying, I am super fit and I have all this muscle, which he doesn't, he's like, I look skinny AF. This is my journey to becoming dangerous as a man so I can protect my family. And he's literally talking about signing up for jiu-jitsu classes, getting his ass whooped, and signing up for the gym and learning about nutrition. This account is blowing up right now because people crave that authenticity in a world full of fake gurus and false claims. You either stand out by having correct claims and you can back them up with proof, aka credibility bank, credibility statements, or you just admit that you have nothing to show for, but now you're taking people along your journey. And maybe you can't monetize it as fast via your own course or digital high-ticket offer yet, but when you do have that result, oh my God, you have all the proof that's ever been there, and you've got it all documented from A to Z. Like, if I would suck at something, that's how I would do it. If I wanted to learn piano, hell yeah, I would literally make an Instagram account of like, challenge, like I have 100 days to learn a specific piano piece and impress my fiance at our wedding by pulling out a piano and like, I wrote this song for you, babe. I've been practicing piano this entire time without you knowing. Turn and like, how cool would that be? It's like, guys, I got 100 days left for my wedding. I know nothing. This is me trying to play piano, and it's like, and like, oh my God, I know nothing, but I need to play this song at our wedding, and here's my journey. Like, how fucking cool would that be? Much cooler than, here's 3 tricks on how to learn piano. Again, if you have the credibility already, go double down on that. If not, make it about your journey. Long story short. Number 2, I don't want to brag about my success all the time, Max. You don't think that will make me seem arrogant? Nah. Not at all, actually. Think about the CCN framework. We always want to focus on reaching a casual and new audience, aka people who know nothing about you when they first engage with your content. So, providing clear credibility ensures that even a cold audience understands your track record immediately. So, you got to do that all the time, which is why my content, you keep seeing me, $32 million, $32 million, $32 million. Like, just look at this. I just posted this. Here we go. Max Tornow, $32 million founder. I just jammed that down people's throats everywhere because people don't know me, right? I always assume they don't know me. Anyways, got that? All right, now let's move on to some more practical stuff. Your highlight section. A great standard way to post about you, your methodology, and your credibility is the highlight section in your IG profile. Why? Because you can always add stuff into it without having to change it. So I love the highlight section. Here's an example from one of my accounts. That's the Max Tornow business account. That's kind of like our very general make money online type of account. You can see 3 distinct highlight sections here. The who am I, what I do, and then the results section. We're going to break down all of them. I'm not going to go into too much detail. You can pause and screenshot if you want or check out the document. Generally speaking, your highlight section should include at least 3 main highlights. Who am I? Applicable for personal brands. This is about your hero story and how you went from not having the end result your audience desires to having the end result. Second, what I do. What I do. What I do. This is about your unique method to reaching your desired end result. This is where you can stand out with all your contrarian beliefs. Now, warning, this is not your product or your course, etc. This is not like, my program includes 15 videos and 3 101 codes. No. It's more about the unique mechanisms, the methods that you're using. So for me, I would talk about my specific method via the CIA framework. I would talk about that I don't believe that it's all just about numbers, not about vanity metrics. It's actually about impact. I would talk about my specific method by breaking down concepts in super easy frameworks, like the macro of it, instead of just me talking about my high ticket offer. I would not do that in the what I do section. And then last but not least, client results. These are screenshots, wins, transformations, videos, video testimonials, excerpts from video testimonials. You get the gist, self-explanatory. Now you can check out the Who Am I highlight template. I literally have a template here. I'm basically explaining exactly how you can do this. You can copy paste this. My gift for you. You can check it out. Again, link to this entire document in the description, or you can just pause the screen here if you want to read through this. I'm just going to scroll through it a little slower. Once you have that, hold up Max. How do I post these highlights? In case you don't know, super simple actually. All you have to do is you post them as a story, and then you tap the 3 dots at the bottom right. A little extra menu shows up. See screenshot below. Tap highlight, and voila, you got it. And then it adds it into highlight, and then you can rename the highlight into who am I, what do I do, client results, etc. Now we're gonna go even more detailed. This is the other core part of this training, which nobody teaches, and it is so incredible. It's the very key point that can get you multiple different high-performing videos from a single idea. It's what I call the 7 building blocks of a viral video connected with the viral building blocks concept. Let's crack into it. Look, every viral video is built on 7 building blocks. I call them building blocks instead of steps because with which building block you want to start when creating a video depends on personal preference. I personally either start with the hook or the format, but again, completely up to you. So I want to make sure that it's called building blocks because you can change them and you don't need to start with one specific one. There's 3 primary building blocks and 4 secondary building blocks. The 3 primary building blocks are topic, aka what the video is about. Then you have hook, which is the verbal to visual, the headline hook in the first 3 seconds. We've talked about this above in great length already. And then you have the format, how the content is presented visually, kind of filming style, visual, screen flow, etc. Now, secondary building blocks are video script / angle. Excuse me, I gotta stop drinking sparkling water. The specific direction that your content takes, like that's the video script / angle. You'll see in a minute what exactly I mean. Then you have the body. That's kind of like the meat, the main part, the value part, right? This is the takeaway of the video, also called the value part. And then you have the ending, which is the last 3 seconds of your video. Pretty straightforward. And then you have the visuals, the colors, the B-roll, text font, and music that make your brand recognizable. Now let's talk about building block number 1, the topic. If you post dating advice or business content, you're way too broad and you won't get that much reach. Instead, you want to define one main niche and then break it into 5 to 7 sub niches. For example, dating advice can be broken into relationship psychology, first date advice, attraction science, texting, confidence, approaching. One video, one sub niche. That's how you win in this. Okay, that is in regards to topic. And important, let's remember the CCN framework from the foundations module. CCN stands for core audience, casual audience, new audience. Your topic selection should mostly focus on the casual and new audiences. That is building block number 1, the topic. Why am I talking about building blocks? I will tell you in a minute. It's basically the fact that you can exchange certain building blocks from videos and make them completely new. If you have experience with shooting ads, for example, I hope at least that's how you're shooting ads. We're shooting ads. We have like 30 different hooks that I just rattle into the camera. Then we have 4 or 5 different body parts. It sounds horrible. Body part, like parts of a body of a video. And then we have a couple different CTAs. Because I shoot them as building blocks, we can interchange them. And all of a sudden, from all these combinations, we have hundreds of ads that we can test. And it's exactly the same with creating content. If you've never shot ads before and you have no idea what I just said, don't worry. Here's how it works. You can exchange any of these building blocks and in essence make a completely new video. So you have a viral outlier that is performing super well, gets a lot of views, gets you a lot of followers. Instead of making a completely new video, make the same video again, but with a different hook. So you're exchanging the building block of the hook. Or you're changing the format, meaning instead of speaking to the camera, you make it as a whiteboard video. So now you exchange the format. So by exchanging just one part of it, you can make so many different versions of the same video and continue to double down on your stuff. You have one video idea, but you're making, I don't know what the mathematics looking at, if you have 7 different versions of it. Maybe it's 49 different versions. I don't know, if it's like square or something like that. But you can make a ton of extra videos. That's basically the essence of it, just from one outlier video. And that's why the building blocks are so powerful. Now let's talk about building blocks number 2, the hook. We've talked about this before. There's a couple more things that I want to talk about here in terms of research. Research beats creativity when it comes to hooks. You want to focus on proven hooks instead of reinventing the wheel. You want your videos to be based on proven outlier hooks. And outliers are videos that massively outperforming a creator's baseline. We follow the 5x rule. Sometimes it's just 3x. Some viral outliers are 3x, not 5x, 3 to 5x, okay? Find videos that have five times the amount of views than the creator's follower account. So when you're checking out other creators and they got 50,000 followers, you want to find videos that got 5 times the views. So that would be 250,000 views. This is, by the way, also, I was going to say it, but I wrote it down. If you're a high-ticket client of ours, you've probably received a bunch of content ideas that we have researched for you. We're following this exact same 5x rule when looking for proven hooks for you. So when we're looking for hooks, we're researching for our clients, we're usually taking hooks from small to mid-sized creators, meaning below 100,000 followers, that have gotten at least 500,000 views, because then we know it's not them just having a big following that got them all these views, but it's actually them having an outlier video, and then we're basing the content that we're writing for you based on that, which means it's proven to work because research beats creativity. It's pretty cool, right? There's 3 ways to find outliers via platform search functions. Number 1, creator research. I recommend using an app called SortFeed. It's an app you can get for your computer, for your desktop. It allows you to sort another creator's feed by amount of views, likes, etc. You can scan the top 5 to 10 videos. You save the ones that follow the 5x rule. It's pretty awesome. You just click a button. It's a Chrome extension. Super self-explanatory. You get it. I think there's a free version and a paid version. The paid version is like $30 forever for like lifetime access. Buy it. If you're a business owner, it will pay itself very quickly. And you install it on your computer, on your Chrome, and then you can sort, like you can go to any creator and say, hey, show me the most viewed videos right at the top. You click a button and it sorts it for you. And then you can just choose the outliers, you save them. What we're doing with our clients is we're giving them, I think you saw this before, this is the client. Geez, it's been a long day already recording videos here. Is the client master sheet template here, and the client master sheet template has a viral library part here. That is where you can save outlier videos when you're researching them yourself. We added this for our clients in case they want to do that. Whoop-de-doo, creator research. Yeah, so that's that. The second thing is keyword research, meaning you search for topics on Instagram, YouTube Shorts, TikTok via the search function, and then you save proven winners. You want to type in certain keywords, like if you're in a fitness niche and you're looking for fitness content that is outliers, I would type in, exercise, nutrition hacks, low carb diet, fasting, etc. And I would just look at the outliers there and I would save them. And last but not least, intentional scrolling. Train your feed. Like I've trained my feed like crazy. Basically, you can train your feed by liking, commenting, and saving content that you want to see more of. So I recommend you check out content from creators whose stuff you want to model, who have a similar creator style as yours. And this doesn't even need to be creators in your niche. It could be creators in adjacent niches or different niches. For example, I follow fitness creators. I follow creators for extreme sports because I like their hooks, and then I adapt their hooks into my niche, and I'm the first guy to implement them in my niche. It's pretty awesome. So that's how you do intentional scrolling. From your research, note down all the 3 hook parts of every outlier video that you find, and that is how you can build better building blocks for hooks. Verbal hook, what's said. Written hook, what text is shown on screen. Visual hook, what visual is shown. Pro tip, you may also note down the format, script, video angle, any other noteworthy features that caught your attention. Pro tip, I ask my fiance that what she thinks about certain videos. She has zero tolerance for boring content, so her input is always golden. If I'm like, do you like this video? And she's like, that's boring. I'm like, all right, not gonna use it. If she's like, yeah, that's funny, I'm like, hell yeah, I got a winner. Like, if my fiance likes it, it's gonna be very broad. It's gonna attract a lot of folks. So if you have a person like that in your life, go ask them. Pro tip. If you're a high-ticket client of ours, you can see all these ideas in the viral library, just like what I just said. So points it down here one more time. Building block number 3 is the format. We've talked about format before. I've given you access to the format sheet right above if you want to check that out. It's also in this very document here. Max, what the hell is a format? Let's dive a little bit deeper on this time. It's the style of the video, aka the way it's filmed or shown on screen. Just talking into the camera doesn't perform nearly as well as it used to be back in 2021. If you're in a small uncontested niche, no problem. If you're very good on camera, no problem. But for the average person, probably going to be hard to get this format right. In order to go viral on social media nowadays, you need to use a format that holds attention. There's many different formats, and new formats are constantly emerging, but some of the main formats include the following. And again, here you have the concept here on the left side. We have an example here, what this looks like. We have the YAP format. Again, hard to get right. If you do, good stuff. Dialogue format, whiteboard format, props, clones. Again, you can pause or refer to the document down in the description if you want to go deeper on that. Buzzer, this is a client of ours. He went absolutely viral in the sales coaching niche. He's really dominated for a very, very long time. I'm not sure if he still does it, but when he did, he dominated. It was awesome. He had this whole buzzer format where he would tap on a red buzzer whenever something wrong was said. Really awesome stuff. Actually, I'm going to make some buzzer formats too, hopefully soon. I bought the buzzers. I just got to do some thinking on what I want to create. Important note number 1. Different formats can be mixed and combined with each other. So you can totally make an XYZ format with whiteboard, for example. Important note number 2, we're breaking down how to shoot/edit each important format, as well as how to make it work in the how to shoot and edit module. If you are a high ticket client of ours, maybe I will give this away as a freebie at some point as well. I'm busy, but I'll do my best to knock this out as well. Otherwise, become our client. I don't care. Go buy our stuff. It's amazing. Building block number 4, the script angle. Similarly to building block number 3, the format, you can turn one idea into several different videos by changing the angle. What is an angle? Glad you asked. Well, the format refers to the style of the video. The angle refers to the style of the narration, aka what is being said or written in the video. There's multiple different angles with new ones constantly emerging, but among the main angles are, for niches that teach, you have a bunch of examples here. Again, feel free to screenshot if you want. For niches that don't teach, you have these formats here, right? These are entertainment-based niches like comedians, musicians, artists, etc. Why angles are so important? Well, angles are cool because it allows you to take the same topic but talk about it in multiple different angles. Usually whenever I write my own scripts, I pick the topic first and then decide on the angle, and then I'll write out the script. And yes, you're going to want to actually write out your script. Only that way you can ensure that it's tight, doesn't over-explain things, and isn't boring. We've talked about this before. Building block number 5, the body. This is the main part of the video, aka the body. There is a right way and a wrong way to do this. Fluff value is imprecise, unclear, wrong. Don't do that. That's why we talked about earlier. Make sure your videos are 30 to 45 seconds long. You want to have one clear takeaway that is specific, that is actionable, that is clear. We've talked about this before. I hope it rings a bell. After watching your video, the viewer should easily be able to say, I learned this one new thing. All right. If they can't name the takeaway, the video failed. A good takeaway is specific, actionable, and clear. This is the core of the video. One takeaway per video only. No topic spraying. For example, one clear takeaway would be, here's the fastest way to grow your biceps. The fastest way to grow your biceps is increasing weekly volume from 10 to 14 sets. That's not a hook. That's a body, and that would totally make sense. 3 parts, same takeaway. 3 reasons why incline dumbbell curls build bigger biceps. Longer tension, better stretch, cleaner form. So now you still have 3 points, but it's still under one main point. 3 unrelated ideas in the body would be, here's the best biceps exercise, here's why creatine works, and here's how much sleep you need. It's bad, it's confusing, it's simply forgettable. Pro tip, and yeah, I got another one of those. Most of your authority either comes from experience, this way you can shine through uniqueness, or from facts. This way you can shine by being factual. So try to have that in your body when you're mentioning a source. Show that source on screen. It's called value stacking. We will talk more about this in the viral mastery part. Or at least have an anecdote that really hammers in that point. Very, very key for the body. That brings us to building block number 6, the ending. Let's remember, the very important metric of average watch time. So you want people to consume as much as possible from your video, ideally 100% or even above. Let me open my door here real quick. Want to make sure I get some fresh air in my claustrophobic office. A lot of creators make the crucial mistake to have long, drawn-out endings that hurt their watch rate. Therefore, there's only 3 acceptable endings for your video. Pay attention now. Everybody talks about hooks. Nobody talks about endings, but they're just important as well. Number 1, the abrupt ending. This works so well because instead of boring and long ending, anyways, that's it. Thank you for watching. Please follow if you want more content like this. The video just ends without signing off. So the viewer has no time to react and potentially scroll away. So it just ends. And then ideally they watch maybe a second or 2 of the looped video. So now the average watch time is above 100%. The loop, that's basically the main thing that will get your average watch time above 100%. This works so well because the last seconds of your video perfectly match the first seconds of the video, right? For example, you start the video by saying, I will teach my kids how to use social media as soon as they start middle school. And then after you explain your point, you go through the body, you end the video with saying, and this is why. So now the ending perfectly loops into the beginning of the video and therefore pushing your average watch time above 100%. So the video would then be, I will teach my kids how to use social media as soon as they start middle school, blah, 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 explaining my point, blah, blah, blah. And this is why, video loops, I will teach my kids how to use social media as soon as they start middle school. And by the time that happens, the person's like, oh, I didn't even realize the video looped. Oh, okay, well, I'm 3 seconds into my second run, ergo, your average watch time is above 100%. Pretty sneaky, but it's awesome. And then last but not least, we have the CTA. This works so well because you give the viewer something to do, so-called call to action. Depending on your goal, you want to choose between one of 3 main CTAs. You want to build a following. Your CTA should be follow for more XYZ, right? What I do is if I have a content breakdown video, I say follow for more content breakdowns. If I have just a pure value video, I say follow for more value on how to grow your socials. You get the gist. Or you can send people to a freebie to build trust and authority, right? The CTA should be the comment with a keyword to get the freebie in the DMs. That's probably how you got this manifesto. Hey, if you want to have my manifesto that teaches you everything I know about creating content that made me over $32 million from social media, comment manifesto down below and I'll send it to you for free. That was a little bit too drawn out. I would make a shorter version of that, but you get the gist. Send people to a paid product. CTA should be comment with a keyword to get the link to the paid product or to create a conversation for you to book a call with them, which is when you're selling a high-ticket offer. So it's basically the same as the freebie, but you're sending them the high-ticket offer or the low-ticket offer. For more info on how to set up ManyChat, the tool that automates sending links out to people who comment, plus the best converting ManyChat templates, see our ManyChat automation magic module. This is for high-ticket clients. Feel free to check that out. Last but not least, we got building blocks number 7, which is visuals. This point becomes more important the more traction you build in your views and followers. In order for your brand to become recognizable, you want the visual style to be consistent. So if you're completely starting from scratch, it's not as important, but it will become more important. I showed you this earlier where I showed you the max vibe on my account, where it's like, it's all like golden colors, simplicity, viral background with the awards in the background. Like I'm always looking kind of nerdy with the glasses and the turtleneck, right? You can see like this is visually consistent. You create this consistency by using the same style in colors. Choose 2 to 3 main colors for your on-screen text, outfit, background, video clip, footage, etc. Fonts, use a primary and optionally a secondary font for your on-screen text. Clothing for personal brands, right? What you're wearing on camera. Filming background for personal brands, the location which you're filming. General visuals, right? 2 or 3 consistent types, screenshots, B-roll, documents, charts. Editing style, you want to use consistent cuts, sound effects, transitions, effects, etc. And then last but not least, big important thing, if you're a high-ticket client of ours or our AI Personal Brand Mastery, which is one of our low-ticket courses, you can check out Bella. She's our custom GPT. She helps you choose your brand archetype and corresponding colors and fonts. That's how I came up with mine, with this whole, where are we at? With this whole golden white, golden black, kind of the nerd look. It literally fleshed that out. It's called my brand archetype. It's really awesome. So if you have access to that, go check it out. It's amazing. Here's just some example of the Max Tornow brand. Isn't it freaking cool? I just love our style here, right? You can see here, turtleneck, collared shirt, call me old-fashioned, but as a business/brand consultant, I believe I should dress the part. In 99% of my videos, you always see me wearing a watch, for example. Font and colors, 99% of my videos have the same font and use either colors gold, white, or black. Filming location, in many of my videos, you see me in my claustrophobic office, which has always proof of my business's success in the background. In summary, you can see that my style is very consistent throughout all visual aspects, and it's all meant to communicate the same character traits and emotions. Simplistic, professional, high quality, yet down to earth. And I believe I do it very well because of that consistency. Now, let's talk about the building blocks principle to really hammer home that concept of why we're even talking about building blocks in the first place. Okay, I just checked, so we're about like 2.5 hours in already. Holy moly. Hey, I truly wholeheartedly believe or hope that you got some value from that. I mean, I believe that you got value, but I really hope that you're feeling the same. If you've gotten value from it so far, drop a comment because it helps the YouTube channel out. Feel free to post you consuming this awesome manifesto on your Instagram stories. Tag my account. I'll repost you. It might send you some followers. And again, if you want to work with me and my team one-on-one, use our AI stack system, have us do a lot of the heavy lifting for you, talk to me every single week, apply down in the description below. My credo is just to give as much value as possible entirely for free. My credo is to make my free stuff way better than everybody's paid stuff, which is a good way to stand out in an extremely low trust society, so to speak. So I hope you see this, and I hope you appreciate this. I certainly appreciate the living hell out of you watching this, which is amazing. I love what I do. I fucking loved working on this, and it's incredible to go through this here together with you, even though it's kind of like a one-way conversation, because I'm like, wow, there's just so much, and I love it, and I created this from scratch based on all this experience that I have and just passing all that knowledge. It's a very satisfying feeling. And I think that's also one of the main reasons why I'm in the business still after all these years, because I just can't stop. Like, I love doing this. I love creating stuff. And if nobody was there to listen, I would probably still create it just because for the sake of the fucking game. Like, I just fucking love it. So anyways, let's talk about the building blocks principle here. As you know, and I've touched on it before again, but we're going to go slightly a little bit deeper here. As you know, there's 7 main building blocks to a short form video, and those can be combined in any way. That's the main principle. Why does this matter? Because of doubling down, or milking, as we sometimes jokingly call it. Like, we got to milk one topic because it's a topic that goes viral, right? Or milk one hook. It's simple. You have an outlier video that performed way above your usual baseline views, usually 3x to 5x, right? Great. Now it's time to double down on that, and here's how. You take the outlier video and make a new video exchanging some of those 7 building blocks. For example, you have a winning topic, double down by making a new video with a different hook combination. Or you have a winning hook. Now you want to double down by making a new video in a different format. And so on and so forth. You have a winning format, you want to double down by making new videos about a different topic. But Max, how do I know if it's the hook or the topic that made it go viral? Well, look at the engagement. Number one, look at the graphs, which we talked about in the metrics masterclass. So you can see, for example, if it drops off quickly, but it's still got a lot of views, it means that the hook could have been better. Now exchange it with a hook, but use the same topic and format. Look at also the engagement and the comments. Maybe sometimes people DM'd you. Maybe sometimes they say, I love this format. I've had this on one of my most recent formats where people are like, more of this format. It's so entertaining or it's so interesting. Now I know, okay, that's the format. So let me exchange it with a different part, but I keep the format. So if you pay attention, you can very easily kind of understand which part is the reason why this video needs to be doubled down on and how you can exchange the other parts to make a new video from that. Max, I don't have any outlier videos myself. Can I just use an outlier video from someone in my niche? Yes! That is fantastic thinking. That's exactly how it goes. Absolutely. In fact, we're talking about it in your viral library section below, how to get the outliers, the whole idea behind it. I mean, it's super simple anyways. But there's one thing I like even more than taking outlier videos from someone in my niche, and that is you can take building blocks from outlier videos in other niches. That's usually the best way to do things. Why? Because now, pay attention, listen. If you try to copy a building block straight from another competitor of yours, it's usually something that people in your audience have already seen, right? Because they're your competitors, so you share your audience, at least to a degree. So you're automatically destined to get less views. Number 2, if you're seeing it from a competitor of yours that got a lot of views, that metric is also kind of skewed because they're probably a competitor that already has a very large audience, so these metrics are slightly viewed. However, if you take a building block, for example, a hook or a format from a different niche, but you're taking something that is still proven to work based on human psychology, but you will be among the first people to adapt this in your niche, which means you're automatically unique. That is so freaking crazy. That is why I recommend you always follow other people in other niches and see if you can extrapolate the hook, the format, the angle, the editing style into your niche, because you'll be the first one or among the first people to implement that in yours. It's so amazing. I love that concept. Let's talk about your viral library to find viral building blocks. Pretty easy. And again, viral library is something that you should build yourself. If you're a high-ticket client of ours, you have an old viral library section in here. We build this together with you over, the next weeks that we're working on together with anyways. But usually it works like that. Step one, you find what works. Market validation, right? We've talked about this now ad nauseum. You audit competitors. You look at other successful accounts in your niche or outside your niche. You identify outliers, see which videos got the most views and engagement from your target audience. Rule of thumb, 5x more views than followers, sometimes 3x. Between 3 and 5x is good. Results, this gives you a list of building blocks that the algorithm and audience already approve of. Step 2, find what excites you. That's kind of like personal authenticity, because you've heard me talk about this a lot. Check your energy when you check in stuff. Check your reaction to it. From the list of the winning videos, choose the ones that you generally enjoy creating. Why I say check your energy is like, and when I see a format from someone else, I'm like, oh my God, I can like think of 3 different ways already how to implement that. Now I'm excited. I'm like, that's definitely something I'm going to implement. If I'm rather like, that's difficult, I don't resonate with it, don't bother, okay? Be authentic. If you like one or several building blocks, you'll naturally put more energy and personality into it, using them for your videos. Right? Don't just use stuff that works even though you hate it. This ensures content creation is sustainable. It feels authentic, which builds a stronger brand connection. And then the sweet spot is you basically want to commit. So it's again, like think about 2 concentric circles. On one hand, you have what works, and on the other hand, you have what excites you. Where do these 2 overlap? That is where you want to basically take these building blocks and adapt them to your own niche and style. The sweet spot is commit. You want to choose a maximum of 2 to 3 videos at a time that meet both criteria. You want to be intentional, meaning use the building blocks of the videos consistently to build a clear brand identity and a strong you vibe. If you look at my content here, again, one more time, you can clearly see there's not many different formats. There's the Yap video format, which is just me talking to the camera, very off the cuff. Then there's the making my followers richer. That's another format. Then we have another Yap format here. Then we have the clipped format, meaning it's from me doing coaching calls. That's another format in and of itself. Then we have the me breaking down viral videos formats. And then again, we have the me Yap video format. Then we have the me Yap video format and another Yap video. Then we have another influencer breakdown. Then we have another Yap video here. We have another viral influencer breakdown. We have a Yap video here, another influencer breakdown video. We have a clipping video. That's one outlier, which is just something funny that I wanted to create. I was like, fuck it. I don't care if it's not a format. It's just me walking around the table. You get it. But you can see there's always recurring formats that I'm doing over and over again. And these are all formats that have been proven to work so far, right? So I hope that makes sense. Over time, you will have a bunch of formats that you'll always repeat. At first, you probably will rotate through a bunch of more formats until you hit an outlier. The goal is to have content that is both effective, aka gets views, and sustainable, aka you keep making it. Pro tip, you can do these very same steps with niches that are unrelated or only loosely related to yours. That's kind of what I mentioned before. If something has worked in a different niche, it's still proven to work based on human psychology. If you're able to easily adapt it into your niche without making a lot of fundamental changes, you will be the first one to adapt this new format /hook/angle in your niche, which makes you very unique and gives you a head start above everybody else in your niche. And thus concludes the viral proficiency. And now we're going even deeper on the viral mastery, chapter 3. Now, there's not that much coming anymore. I think the density is definitely in the viral proficiency module. So let's take a breather here. If you got value from this, drop a quick comment. Let us know how you're doing. Execute that stuff. You've gone through the densest stuff already. We're not going to touch on that much anymore in the viral mastery. But for those of you who are already creating a lot of content, who are looking for a faster way, an easier way to scale faster, and therefore also scale your monetization, this chapter is for you. So let's crack right into it. Our goals for this stage. At this stage, you know pretty much everything. Hold on, there's a U missing. Max, what's going on? At this stage, you know pretty much everything there is to know about how to grow an audience that is bought into your mission, loves your stuff, and is always willing to buy from you. However, there's still a couple more tactics that will help you with your doubling down efforts, because you need to keep volume high or even increase volume even more. You need to keep innovating. You need to keep testing. Do not become complacent by just repeating what works, because at some point it won't. And if you haven't been innovating enough, you'll be caught with your pants down. This is the key point when it comes to mastery. Oops. Maybe you can resonate with this if you've been an experienced content creator and you used to get a lot more views, but you aren't. It's because you haven't kept innovating enough. You haven't increased your testing formats, and therefore now you're in this situation. That's the bad news. The good news is you can absolutely get back to even faster, even more growth, but you got to get back to innovating. And that's one of the main things that we're going to talk about here with the viral mastery chapter here. Let's talk about the content rerun hack. So the algorithm is weird. You know that by now, right? We've talked about it ad nauseum. Sometimes you post a great piece of content, but as it happens, something else is getting posted somewhere at the exact same time, which results in your video not performing as well as it could. Maybe your algorithm is just playing it out to a slightly wrong subset of people, which never gets it to be pushed to more people. It happens, right? Remember how we talked about the algorithm basics earlier in the foundations chapter? Very, very key for you to understand this. Now, how does this content rerun hack work? Well, you post all your videos / videos with potential 3 times. Kind of like TV shows would rerun all episodes. I'm sure you know this. Unless you're freaking born in 2010 or something and you're super new, you're like, what's a TV show? But I think the majority of my audience will know what I'm talking about here. First time. So you posted the first time. You just regularly posted. Then the second time after 30 days. And then you posted the third time after another 30 days. Each time, look at the metrics. Yes, you're posting the exact same video. You can make slight changes if you want, but you don't need to. You can just post the exact same videos. Look at the metrics of the 2 reposts. You look at the views, look at the CTA replies, if you have one. Look at the followers gained from it. If it keeps performing high enough, meaning the second time you posted, it still gets a lot of views. Maybe it gets even more. It still gets responses. It still gets you followers. You can post it even more than 3 times. Just maintain a cadence of 30 days till it stops performing. That is such a weird, strange hack that nobody does. But it is so good, because sometimes you get a video that got 50,000 views on a relatively small account. You repost it again 30 days later, it gets 500,000 views. You've done nothing but just fucking repost it. That's the power of it. Now, if you're like me and you're posting 6 times a day, and after 30 days, you're posting 6 times more, and the 6 times from 30 days ago, now you're posting 12, probably not as good of an idea. That's why I'm saying you want to post videos with potential 3 times, and maybe not all of them. What you can also do is you can say, well, let me not post 6 new times. Let me only post 3 times. That way I get a little bit more time for my other stuff, and I post 3 of the most best performing videos from 30 days ago. That could also work. So you can switch around that, but I think you get the gist. Now, we've had videos get 5x the views on its second posting 30 days later, which completely makes sense if you think about it. Also, the algorithm might not be playing it out to the right people. We mentioned it before. But also, within 30 days, you probably get a ton of new followers that have not seen the older content yet. So even older followers might have not seen that piece of content either before, since very few of them actually watch every single video if you're posting multiple times a day. So that way, you can just milk one good video over and over again, which is fantastic. But hold on a second, Max. Doesn't that look like a duplicate in the eyes of the algorithm? Absolutely fair question, and in theory it should. However, it's not. We don't know exactly why that is. We've asked our connections at Meta. They don't know exactly either, but we're assuming that the fact that there's always 30 days and a ton of non-duplicate content being posted in between, the algorithm doesn't mind stuff being reposted, so to speak, as long as it performs well, and therefore keeps people on the platform, and as long as you're not only reposting stuff, but you're also posting new original content in between. So that's our thought process. Kind of like my fiance's homemade lasagna. I don't mind eating it over and over again because it's fucking the best. Like, the lasagna she makes, it's unbelievable. Like, I sometimes eat the entire fucking thing. Like, I'm not kidding. This is not me trying to be relatable. Like, the entire thing. What is it called? Like, the oven thing. The tray. The entire tray. I don't care. And I'm eating a ton of other stuff in between, because she's not making it every day, but I don't mind eating it over and over again. Anyways, I hope that metaphor sticks. Now, Let's talk about value stacking. I love value stacking. It's the freaking best thing in the world. This is so crazy. Nobody does this, especially if you're an expert in your niche. It's just such an awesome thing. And similar to that is the foreshadow editing. Both are editing techniques that some might consider advanced. They help tremendously with rewatchability, savability, as well as visual hooks. So let's have a look. So especially if you're a content creator with a content team, make them watch this part over and over again. Value stacking, this is when you add extra value or context on screen without verbalizing it. It looks like this. So this is me actually talking about, hold on a second. You know what? Let me pull up this exact part of the video. There we go. It's making my followers richer day one. It's going to be like 20, 30 seconds before you see that part, but it's worth repeating. So just have a look.
From social media, making my followers richer day one. I love the first line of the bio because it's clear who you're serving and what you're doing. However, I would add to the second line of bio a more detailed description of your neural shift method. What makes it so special? Why is it the best thing in the world? The CTA is not ideal because you just say DM Neuro to learn more. So am I getting a freebie here? Is it a PDF? Is it a video course? Am I going to book a call with you? I don't know. Funny enough, when I do click on your Calendly link, it shows a couple things that hurt your conversion quite a lot. I can see that I can book a 1-hour meeting with you here. You got a ton of free open slots almost every single day, plus there's no price to that. So that hurts, number one, your authority, and number two, the actual value of that call, because apparently it's in not great demand. You're just reposting your feed posts in your story, which trains me as your potential audience to just never look at your stories because I see it on the feed anyways. I would only ever post CTAs.
There it is.
In the stories. Last one, least.
You saw what I did there. I just mentioned, hey, by the way, in your stories, I would only post CTAs or behind the scenes. And as I'm saying that, it shows the entire document about viral Instagram stories from my viral Instagram stories masterclass. The perfect amount of pitching your stories revealed. So I have a bank of videos, of things to show in videos. It looks like this that my editing team has. And whenever they're editing videos, I mean, sometimes I tell them, sometimes they just do it naturally by themselves. They're like, oh, Max is talking about whatever, freebies. Cool, let me edit in a quick screen of the freebies masterclass that fits to this. I let my team study all these materials, including this very manifesto, because for almost every video, they can add these cool value stacks as overlays, which is really, really awesome. Hold on a second. I'm just trying to zoom out. Can I? Excuse me. There we go. Okay. This keeps the video length very short and to the point, while simultaneously giving people who want to dive deeper the opportunity to do so by rewatching the video, saving it, or screenshotting it at the exact point where they want to dive deeper. So again, I don't acknowledge it. I don't all of a sudden start reading this out in the video. I'm just showing it on screen. So for people who want to dive deeper, they're like, oh, what was that masterclass? Oh shit, like let me watch it again. I want to get that part. I want to screenshot that. So that gets my watch rate super high. Remember how we talked about getting on average, our average viewer rate above 100%? This is a great way to do it. It's so good. And like I said, pro tip, gather all your documents/images that you want to show as value stacks in one folder so they're easily accessible for you/your team when editing. Here's how our folder currently looks like. Neatly organized. Yes, have German in me. I like that stuff. Actually, I think Austrians and Germans were both very structured. I also work with a lot of people from the Netherlands. I love their structure. Anyways, I'm a nerd on that stuff. Let's talk about foreshadow editing. Very similar. This is where you show a mini breakdown of what you're about to share on screen. This is especially effective if you blur/black out some parts to increase intrigue. Remember the CIA framework. You can use foreshadow editing throughout your entire video, but it's especially effective in the hook. Here's what it looks like in action. This is basically it. You can see like I'm going through this and like the video starts with here's 10 hooks that always work. And people see this, they're like, ooh, I want to know what's behind all these bars, right? Same here, media company playbook, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. I want to know what these 3 phases are. So it's a great foreshadowing editing that I recommend you do. So foreshadowing, editing, plus value stacking, advanced things. I put this in the advanced section because if I tell a beginner to do this, they're overthinking it. They're trying to foreshadow, value stack without having the CIA framework done yet, without focusing on CCN. They're just like, the value stacking. Like, no. Go to get the basics done first. And then when you're consistently getting a lot of views, you're attracting a new audience, you're growing your brand, add this in there because it's a neat little extra trick. And I believe this one is not centralized, is it? Oh, it is. Okay, perfect. Just like the OCD again. Now let's talk about trial reels to get quadruple views. This is a training that I wanted to add in here because trial reels are so misunderstood and everybody does them wrong. So I have a little bit of a rant here that I wrote down, but pay attention because it will literally help you quadruple your views, if not even more. In order for us to understand how to maximize results via trial reels, we have to understand why Meta introduced this feature in the first place. Very simple. They wanted to give creators a way to test out content that they're not sure their audience will like. Pretty straightforward. So Meta's main focus for creators is to help them be more creative, come up with new content ideas, experiment around, since that is the only way to keep people, creators as well as viewers, on their platform, right? Because if everybody just like is scared of posting something new because their audience won't like it, they won't post. So Meta is like, hey, here's a way to test stuff so you don't have to worry. So you keep being excited about creating content. Of course, the moment this feature dropped, a bunch of BS fake gurus made videos claiming that this one new trial reel feature is making going viral super easy. I mean, who even freaking believes that? So this led to most people using trial reels in literally the dumbest way possible. They would take a usual video that they would normally post on their feed. They would post it as trial reel. They would get 200 views and then get frustrated and report, I tried this trial reel feature and it didn't work. Super silly, right? Well, we're not done yet, because here's what happens next. Marketers like me saw this new trial reels feature and we were elated because holy shit, this is basically like testing ads. Let's make 30 different versions of the same reel and test stuff for free. So this led to the second dumbest way to use trial reels, and that is create one video, make a tiny slight change to maybe the headline hook or verbal hook or and over again until we have dozens of different versions of it. And, you know, like just change one word somewhere and then unleash every single version as trial reel and just test a single video, but 30 different versions of it, and then see which one performs best after 24 hours and then post that one to the feed. To be fair, this way of using trial and error was actually very smart. The only reason why it is now considered dumb is because it doesn't work anymore. Meta realized that people would just spam post dozens and dozens of different versions of their videos, which is, of course, terrible for the user experience on the viewer side, right? If there's like every video is like 30 different versions and they all suck, like imagine everybody would all of a sudden post 30 times more videos and they're all the same or similar. It would be terrible for the user experience. So they retrained their algorithm to detect duplicates. So you couldn't just change a small, tiny little thing with trial reels anymore, which now leads us to the best way of using trial reels. Finally, how to actually use trial reels. Still the feature to test multiple different versions, but those test versions need to be very different from each other. So you can achieve this by speeding up certain parts of the video by a small amount without being noticeable for humans. I don't know why I said without being noticeable for humans. Mirror the video. You can horizontally flip it, so now it looks like a different video in the eyes of the stupid algorithm. Cut out certain parts in between to vary the video length. Use different fonts and colors in the text, or a mix of all the above. However, even if you implement all these changes, your trial reel still might be flagged as duplicates and get 0 views. So you can see if a trial reel got flagged as duplicate, if it literally got 0 views. And there's even a message that says it looks like you've posted this content before or something like that. So not good if you do that. Therefore, here's my personal preferred way of doing it. So if it doesn't work to do these points above, do it the way I prefer it. Actually reshoot the video. You may hate me for it, yes, but it may take a couple extra minutes to shoot, but in my opinion, it's absolutely worth it. If the video is scripted, make changes to the actual script. Give it a longer or shorter version, like one where I go a little bit more into nuance, one where I do value stacking, one where I just glaze over a concept. Sometimes I do one 15-second video, and and then another version is a 45-second video where I go into more nuance points, and then I just let them rip and see which one performs better. If the video is in the spontaneous yap format, you will naturally make variations to them anyway. So you just say the same things, or at least try to say the same things, and you will just make variations anyways. Pro tip here, and induce multiple different versions by changing your vibe in the video. So sometimes I would make it more calmer, more high energy. Sometimes I'd be more provocative. Sometimes I'd be more reasonable, less serious, more serious, etc. And I just record 2-3 different versions of it if I want to. Wait 24 hours, let them post both of them at the same time, or right after each other. Wait 24 hours, pick the winner, post the winner on the feed. You'll be surprised, by the way, how much a single variation can make or break a video. It's crazy. The rule of thumb, just to tell you how much this matters. If you post 5 different versions of the same video, the highest performer gets on average 4 times the views of the lowest performer. So you're already making the video once anyways, and you're making a couple changes to it in the script, or you yap it again, you can get 4 times more views. That could be the difference between a decent video and a viral video if you think about it. So I recommend you use trial reels. I don't use trial reels for every single piece of content, especially not for content that has been clipped from longer form content, like speeches and stuff like that. Like, I'm not going to like tell the team to like, oh, cut the speech slightly differently, like this one here, for example. I'm not going to tell the team, cut the speech slightly differently. If this was a breakout reel, I would be like, okay, cut it slightly differently. Let's just repost it. But it's not necessary for those. But for like Yap videos and other videos where I'm like, I'm not sure if I want to do a longer version or a shorter version, use the trial reels function. It is absolutely fantastic. And that brings me to the go nuts 30% to keep innovating. All the talk about analyzing what's working and then doubling down on the outliers, I get it. It's super duper key. But at the same time, there's one most important concept that you need to adhere to if you want to stay relevant for years and not just months. Coming from someone who stayed relevant since literally 2012, FYI, I know what I'm talking about. Humble, I get it. It's the so-called go nuts 30%. The answer to all that is very simple. Focus on what works and double down on it for about 2/3 of your content. Then you want about 1/6 to 1/3 of your content. Yes, I know 1/6 is nowhere near 30%, but it's a cool sounding concept that way. But 1/6 to 1/3 of your content to just be you going nuts, having fun, trying out different things. If you get too stuck on over-analyzing and just reusing the stuff that's been working, you're not going to innovate. Don't do this, okay? You will get stuck in one format pony land, and eventually slip into irrelevancy. So never forget what our main focus is here, to create impact and have a ton of fun while doing so. Very, very key. I'm going to show you a quick example here where I just innovated. It was this one here, which is just, I was literally at the coffee store back then when I still drank coffee, and I'm like, I want to talk about how different generations had it way more difficult than us. So I just rambled on it, and it performed very well. This is actually a repost. The first time I posted it on the Max Tornow business account, I think it got over 1 million views. Second thing is this one here. This format, I saw someone in the fitness niche do it. I forgot his name. It's this super nerd, and he would break down people eating foods, and he's like, this is terrible, this is seed oils, this is carbohydrates, and I'm like, this is so funny, I want to use this for my stuff. And I'm just like, if I hadn't innovated and had fun while doing this, I would have never come across one of my most successful formats. So very, very, very key. All right. So I'll clarify this here. Don't just focus on things that are proven to work. Boom. There we go. That is the go nuts 30% to keep innovating. Now, what I want to do at this point is I want to show you a quick way of actually using our Max AI interface that does about 80% of all the work for you, for both the ideation as well as the scripting, as well as the editing, as well as giving you feedback and all that. Let's have a look at that. So this is our AI interface. This is what we give our high-ticket clients that does a lot of work for creating content for them, because I get it. You're probably a business owner. You're probably a family, dad, mom. You've got a lot of stuff on your hands, and I just went super deep on everything, and you're like, geez, Louise, I'm not sure if I can do all that. Yeah, well, guess what? AI can do a lot of that work for you. Still good to know the concepts, though. Now, when you log in, it looks like this. You have a dashboard here, and then you got a bunch of different tools on the left side here. All these tools are all for Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube Shorts. And then down below, we even have tools for writing LinkedIn content, Facebook content. It's really, really neat stuff. And then down here, you have the settings. So it all starts with My Styles. My Styles is basically where you tell the AI about you and about your target audience. So you would have probably no style in here. I was just going to show you my style because, of course, for the sake of brevity, I'm not going to go through that. Style name, Max Tornow style, how to grow and sell on social media, target audience, biz owners, online coaches, creators. And then I have the core pain points here. And this is, by the way, something like you want to go deep. The deeper you go on this, the better for your audience and the better for the AI, because it will make more relevant content for your audience. So I talk about all the pain points in here, pretty straightforward. Communication talk, real talk, no BS. And then here in the hero story, you can also add your hero story. It's optional, right? Like I would write something like, hey, I grew up in a 5,000 people town in the middle of the Austrian Alps. I didn't have any connections, didn't have experience, never thought about entrepreneurship. Then I built my first coaching business in dating and personal development advice, got my first clients, traveled the world, went on 4 different world tours, made my first million at age 26, etc. Like I would go super deep on this because it will include this in my script writing process, which is really awesome. If you don't include that, it will still ask you for it. It's pretty interesting. And then you can update your style. I'm not going to do that because it's already saved there. Now, first tool I want to show you is Ava. Ava is your automated viral assistant, and she will help you with ideating and scripting. What you do first is you select the style that you've just created, and then you say, Ava, make me 10 viral scripts. And she will now communicate with you like any other LLM. What content style works best for your audience? Educate, inspire, entertain. And what platform are you creating for? So I'm just going to say number 1, and I want to have educate and, I shouldn't have pressed enter. And then, yeah, it asks me what platform I'm creating for. So I would say for Instagram. You can say for all, you can say for TikTok, you can say for whatever you want. Let me make this bubble here a tiny bit smaller. Let me pull it maybe over here. And now she's thinking, and she's going to ask a couple of more questions to really clarify what exactly it is that you want. Or maybe she already has enough information. Let us have a look. Oh, and the cool thing is, too, people are like, oh, but ChatGPT could do that. Well, theoretically, yes, but you'd have to train ChatGPT manually on all the things I've just taught you here. But what we've done with Ava is we've fed my entire knowledge, including this manifesto and so much more, like live calls of mine, concepts, frameworks. We fed her all that, and she's basing the content and the script she's writing for you on all that information. That is why it is 1,000 times better than just average vanilla bullshit ChatGPT, which is really amazing. So she now continues here with giving you 10 viral Instagram Reels ideas. She also gives it a virality score, which is pretty interesting, 9 out of 10, 9 out of 10. I mean, it's not guaranteed. Well, Ava said it's going to go viral 9 out of 10. No, but it's still a good assessment based on what she thinks will have the highest potential to perform well. And you can see these are pretty good. The secret no one tells you about monetizing your expertise. I like that, actually. That's really good. I was stuck at $50K for 2 years until I discovered this hidden pricing mistake. Stop posting content. Start doing this instead. The weird reason your content gets views but 0 clients. You can see how it's implemented the Contrarian takes, the CIA framework. It is so fucking fantastic. And now I'm just going to pick one video idea that I want to have a script for. So, for example, that one's good. The counterintuitive posting strategy that tripled my client bookings. I'm just going to say 7. And now she asks me if I have any sort of personal experience that I want to wove into this. And I can give it a personal experience, or I can also just say no. Let me just think about it. Counterintuitive posting strategy that tripled my client books. And you can see here. Oh, by the way, it's programmed to talk like me. Solid choice, mate. It's a powerhouse. Let me dig into the line strand data, craft this personal. Oh, yeah. And this is also cool because she's cross-referencing it with what's currently being talked about and going viral in my niche. She scours the entire internet and is checking on things that are based on what people talk about, what's trending right now, what are things that are on the mind of your target audience. So it's, again, not just randomly hallucinating things, but it's cross-referencing it with things that are currently being talked about in your niche, which makes it so fantastic. So it has the training that we give her, and it has the internet in terms of the topic and what's going viral right now. Does this video bring any personal experience to this? I'm just going to say, yes, sorry, what was the topic again? Counterintuitive post strategy that tripled my client bookings. Yeah, I'm just going to make something up now. I'm just like, I used to think I need to post super tactical stuff for my content, but then my fiance had this great idea that I should open up about personal things, which is great for relatability. I'm just making stuff up, but it's a great example. You will see this in a second of how she then woves that personal experience into the script. ChatGPT doesn't do that, at least not the vanilla version. It will make it sound super boring and super generic, but Ava here, she's literally implementing it into the script. And she's just going to ask the hook structure if I want to have hook, reveal, problem, solution, story arc. And I'm just going to say I want that one. Again, I also love how it writes, that's gold, mate. Your fiance nailed it. That's literally how I would speak. And then she writes the entire script from top to bottom. And the cool thing is, I can also ask her to give me visual instructions to this if I want to. So you can see here this entire script. It lays it out in terms of hook, in terms of reveal. And did it include my fiance somewhere in here? I believe so. There you go. My fiance suggested I share personal stories instead. Cool. And now I can say visual instructions. You can even say, can you give me visual instructions for faceless? She can do that too. She can adapt that. And that is basically it. So if you're sick and tired of having to come up with your own content and write your own scripts, there you go. You can just have Ava do all that for you. She even tells you exactly shot by shot visual breakdown, what to do, camera setup, action, facial expression, hand gestures, movements, going really nitty gritty into this. Now, her sister, Vera, she's the rewriting AI, which is very sexy because what you can do is you can take someone else's video and you can extrapolate it, as long as it's an audio video, into your own niche and your own style. And you can use anything. You could just use a fitness. I'm just going to, okay, let me find a fitness video that I want to adapt into my own niche. So I'm literally just going to go on search and I'm going to say fitness for men. Let me just look at what we find here. I'm just going to take a random freaking video now. Maybe I'll pause just to make it not so boring for you. Let me have a look here. It needs to be a spoken video because it needs to be audio. Okay, lateral raises.
Matter if you're doing your lateral raises like this.
Nah, not a fan of this.
Simple but effective. 10 push-ups. Hollow hold for 30 seconds. 15 squats. Plank for 1 minute. High knees for 1 minute.
Cool. Let's say this went absolutely viral. I'm assuming, right? 90,000 likes, pretty decent. Now I'm going to copy this by clicking on this. Well, actually, I just copy it. I will show you here on the desktop. There we go. I'm just going to copy this link right here. And now I'm going to paste it into Vera. I'm going to paste it in here. I'm going to say continue. I select the style, Max Tornow style, and I say generate scripts. And what she will do now is she will use the original script, which is about fitness, and she will transpone it into my niche and my audience. So I don't have to think about anything. I found a viral reel. Let me just make this into my own stuff. And it makes it sound authentic, which is the awesome thing because it knows about your audience. So simple but effective, 10 posts that actually say something, hold your opinion for 30 seconds on the videos, 15 comments on bigger accounts, engage for 1 minute without your audience, DMs to warm leads for 1 minute, and so on and so forth. Like, it's pretty damn amazing. Now, not only that, because we also have the viral coach. The viral coach is basically, you can see here there's a previous conversation that I had with it. Let me clear that. The viral coach is basically a chat bot that is programmed to speak like me, and it has my entire knowledge base on anything that I've ever created content for our high ticket and low ticket products. And you can ask it anything relating to that. So for example, is like, can you tell me about the viral video checklist, ? And what it will do now is it will look at our database, all the videos that I've ever made about a viral video checklist, including the things we've just talked about earlier in the while going through the manifesto, and it will reference that, and it will take all that information and will spit it out here for you. So you can see here the hook, trim the fat, stakes, shareability, and so on and so forth. So now I can say, like, can you link it to me with timestamps? So now I'm like, okay, well, I want to watch the exact part of the exact video that this is about, and it will literally link me the exact link to it within our program and the exact timestamps, which is so freaking amazing. So if I would click on that, it will bring me to the exact video in our Kajabi, which makes it super easy if you're a high-ticket client of ours. You know, it's 2 a.m. in the morning, you got nobody there, you're by yourself, and you're like, oh, what was that video? What was that concept about? Instead of having to scour through the entire product, you can just chat with it right there. That's pretty cool. Now, you can also use a script feedback here. You can copy-paste your script into it. Let me just see if I can just find a random script real quick. One sec. Okay, this is going to be fun. So here's a script that I wrote once. It's not fully fleshed out, but it's for one of my Yap videos. Keeping your kids off of social media is for people who are broke. I haven't tested this specific script, but again, Sage is programmed to be very, very harsh. So it will literally tell you everything that there is wrong with your script. And again, it will grade it based on this. So that's just a really cool way of learning how to write your own script, so to speak, and just having someone at your fingertips at all times that is trained on our manifesto, on all my knowledge on script writing that we fed it over the last couple of years into it, and it will tell me exactly what it thinks is wrong with my script. And like I said, it's also going to be very, very harsh. Now, on top of that, we have the AI video editor and simple text video editor, which I'm going to show you in a second here. And there you can see here, first off, it analyzes it based on all these criteria. High quality, what's working, what needs work, content efficiency, 5 out of 10 only. Here's lines to cut and tighten, which is really, really awesome. Trimming the fat, so to speak. Stakes and curiosity, how I can make this better. Payoff and takeaway, really awesome stuff. Like, this is literally the very tool. Oh, and then it gives me an improved script. This is literally the very tool that I'm using. Oh, that's the cleaning, folks. I got to open the door. This is literally the tool that I'm using to make my content and my scripts super sexy, and you're getting access to this as a high-ticket client of ours. And that is why I absolutely love Sage. He's kind of like my favorite if I would put a human vibe onto all our AI tools. And then, of course, there's the AI video editor and the simple clip, simple text video editor. I'm going to show you this as well. I do have to hop on a client call, so I'll do that first, and I'll see you back in a second. All right, back at it. It's getting dark outside. Had a bunch of really, really awesome calls, and I changed my video to the laptop camera because I'm going to demonstrate now on my phone how the video editor works, which is very, very neat. Why? Because if you're a busy business owner, you're busy with parent, or you're a parent, you're busy with your family, you probably hate editing. Maybe you don't have a team and it's just taking a lot of time and you want to bust out a lot of content very quickly. That is why we have this like done for you video editing added in our AI interface. We're covering the entire cost of that. You do not have to sign up for any other editing if you don't want to. This is all in-house. It is included in our coaching as long as you're an active client of ours. It's very, very neat. The way this works is you just shoot a video, you drag and drop it in here, you choose between a couple templates, and it's kind of like a one-click solution for everything. Now, some people, they still like, like, oh, can I change the headline a little bit? Can I make the cut a little different? That is not meant to be done in this. If you want to edit videos regularly, maybe you're used to CapCut, go use CapCut. But if you say, hey, I want to have a quick one solution, I click a button, it edits everything for me, this is going to be for you. Is it going to make it everything exactly perfectly like the way you want it? No, but it does it fast and it does it reliably and it does it very, very well. If you want to make personal adjustments to it, you can always do that in your own regular editing software that you're usually using. But most of the time, clients come to us because they say, listen, I don't have a lot of time. I want a very quick solution. Just drag and drop the video in it and edit it for me. And they love this feature. So we added this to it. What we will add on top of that is kind of like a function where you can choose where on the screen that subtitles are going to be. This is literally in works right now. So by the time you're watching this, it might already be implemented. Anyways, I digress. I have my phone here. I'm just going to shoot a random video now, unscripted, just to kind of like show you. There we go. What am I going to talk about? Here's the 3 easiest ways to go viral in 2026, especially if you're short on time. I call this the CIA framework. The C stands for clarity, meaning your content needs to always be clear on who it is addressing and what people are getting from it. The I stands for intrigue. If you have an interesting framework or a personal story that creates intrigue, that will be very, very good for your content. Last but not least, A stands for yada, 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 and so on and so forth. What I'm doing here now as well, as I'm finishing the video, is I'm including pauses because the AI can detect these pauses and automatically cut them, which is one of the bigger issues that a lot of people have with content creation. Maybe you forgot what you wanted to say. Maybe you have a script that you need to kind of read off. So I'm just sending this video right now by AirDrop to my computer. There it is, show in Finder. Hold up, where is it? Hold up. Cut. Cut. All right, there it is in the Finder. I'm just going to drag and drop it here on. Well, actually, I could just drag and drop it right here. Anyway, so boom. We're going to slap it in there, and then here you can change, if you want to have bold or energetic, clean and professional, influencer style. I'm just going to choose a random template here. I'm going to choose Mr. Beast vibes. Magic zooms, I like it because it like zooms in and out when you're emphasizing things. I leave that on. Magic B-roll, I don't need it. It's a yap video. Remove silence, you can ask it how aggressive it will remove silences. Extra fast, which means it removes all silences very quickly. I like fast. This is usually how I prefer it. Remove filler words. I didn't really have filler words, so I'm going to leave this blank. Let's see. Oh yeah, there we have headline hook. I'm just going to add, be like whatever, the CIA framework to go viral. That is cool. And now I'm just going to say process the video. So you can see up here, it's now uploading the video and it will process it. Depending on how many people are using it right now, it usually takes between 90 seconds all the way up to maybe 5 minutes to edit the entire video, which is still much faster than when you edit it yourself. So I personally love this video editor. I'm going to pause here and then I'll show you how the video looks like. All right, this is now 3 minutes later. We have it done, processing complete. Now all I gotta do is I see it here in the library. As you can see, that's the video I just did. Now we're gonna click download. It is downloading. Let me show you the progress bar here. As you can see here, there's like a little download thingy in the browser. And then we're gonna have a quick look at it. Boom. Let's say open. Let me make this a little bit shorter here.
Here's the 3 easiest ways to go viral.
So for example, I don't like that the template that I chose, because the template shows stuff in white first and then in black. It just doesn't fit because my shirt is black. So I would just choose a different template if I wanted to.
Here's the 3 easiest ways to go viral in 2026, especially if you're short on time. I call this the CIA framework.
Pretty awesome stuff. As you can see here, it makes the subtitles all automatically. It slaps it on screen. It looks fantastic. It also cuts out the silences in between, which is fantastic. If I now wanted to say, okay, here I don't like how this is like the thumbs up is too close to my face. Like I said, we're adding the feature right now where you can pull it down, where you can choose that. We already have that feature in the Simple Clip, Simple Text video editor, where you just drag and drop a video in it and it adds the text on it, which is pretty cool. But that's just a great example of how quickly it can go to have your full video edited with subtitles, with animations, with everything in there, and you don't have to lift a finger other than choosing what template you want to use. That is the AI video editing part of this whole thing. Like I said, I love this. I use this every day myself. It is fantastic. That brings us back to the Reels manifesto. Last but not least, what to do next for you. We have a monetization manifesto coming up if you want to. So here we talk about everything on how to build a brand, how to build the views, the fans, the followers that are ready to buy. If you want more tactical stuff on how to actually promote your stuff, what type of stuff to post, how to monetize it, how to automate delivery, I can do that. It will just take me some time. If you haven't done so yet, comment down below if you like this so far, if you got value from it. If you want the monetization manifesto, let me know. I'll work on that too. Want to work one-on-one with me? Absolutely possible if we have spots open and if we're a good fit for each other. Apply via the link down in the description below. And now just freaking execute. Like, that's the main thing. Execute, subscribe to this channel if you have any other questions. I'm wholeheartedly telling you this. This is not a fucking marketing strategy or something. I wholeheartedly want to be known as the guy whose free stuff is better than most people's paid stuff. A lot of people know me already as the guy, and I hope now you know me as that guy as well, because I truly wholeheartedly believe in giving, giving, giving. Yes, we sell hard, but we deliver even freaking harder. Go execute this now. I know this has been a very, very long video. I have so much respect for you. I'm rooting for you through the power of the internet. Anybody that executes on their dreams, that is willing to learn, that is willing to invest time in themselves, you're doing very, very amazing. You are now ahead of 99% of people in your competitors that could be your competitors in your niche. You're going to do absolutely fine as long as you execute. So much love. I'm rooting for you. Let's go crush. And may the force be with you. Cheers.